Let's go to Mars. Go.
we resorting to comedy hour now? Obviously. Gravity. La La Land is reserved for special people that double speak, that say open is closed, closed is open. La La Land, we are in La La Land. Gravity. Obviously. La La Land, La La Land, La La Land, we.
Here on the
Daily Boom,
in a mental retardation center costing
PayPal and Super Chat
will be built is to identify all of the causes of mental retardation and to develop more effective techniques of treatment and rehabilitation. The ability to prevent mental retardation is our ultimate goal. To reach this point,
YouTube, Discord, participants.
and the federal government have all come a long, long way.
Now, many of these
Flat Earthers.
so severely retarded that it would be difficult, if not impossible, to take care of them at home. So all we can offer them is good care and sympathetic understanding. But there are others
Flat Earther.
in these institutions who really need not be there. Those are the ones that are classed as trainable or educable, and you'll hear more about them later.
Are we resorting to comedy hour now? Obviously. Gravity. La La Land is reserved for special people that double speak, that say open is closed, closed is open. La La Land, we are in La La Land. Gravity. Obviously. La La Land, La La Land, La La Land, we are in La La Land. Gravity, gravity, gravity. Obviously.
Are you ready? Call your mama, call your papa, call your friends. The festivities are about to begin. Boom!
Well, do you think you're going? The Daily Boom is live, and this is Jose JG. I am in the YouTube universe. I am in Florida, actually. You are in the YouTube universe. What am I in the YouTube? I am in the YouTube universe too. Argentina, Croatia. Who cares about them places? No, I care about those places. I just don't care about a type of game that they're playing. Come on. So bullshit. I don't do sports. I don't like games. I used to watch NBA, MLB a little bit. No NFL, no anything else, no soccer and none of that shit now. I play pool, that's about it. Ping pong a little bit. Is that a sport? Yeah, kind of is. I was never a professional, but I played those goodies. Thank you for being here. Shout out to everybody. It's a handful of people here. I see RT96, Jomungus, Jim's Mind, Extra J, Fred Bailey, Martin Cuso, Stefan Mudd. I'm gonna create a poll because who's first? I mean, who is first? There's a point to be made that Jomungus might be number one. Jomungus, maybe RT96 is number one. Because I think who say first? I think. I'm not sure. Jim's Mind is in contention here. Let me see. Jim's Mind. Who else is over here on the who's first? We got RT96. Extra J. Are you in the poll? You know what? Extra J is in the poll. Who is first? Who's first? Ask your community. Please vote. Thank you very much. I appreciate everybody being here. Shout outs to you. Hit the like button. At least 4 people should hit the like. 4 people that are on the poll. Jomongus, RT, Jeans Mine, and Extra J. I typed your name wrong. Jeans Mine. Is that Jeans? CBR Mine. So please vote, ladies and gentlemen, and we shall see who's first. Who was? I mean, it depends how you propose the question. So Jomongus is ahead. It's ahead big time. You guys hit the thumbs up. Please do so if you're watching this live or recorded. If you're watching this recorded, leave a comment in the comment section. If you're watching this live, jump on the chat box and make yourself be heard and seen and read and all the good stuff. If you can support, which I really hope that you can support today, there's a PayPal link and there's also a super chat feature that I would like everybody to use it. I am struggling big time. I had a job lined up. I told you guys yesterday. I had a job lined up today. It fell. It didn't happen. So I'm gonna be like the rest of the week. Try to figure something out. So I need your money. Give it to me now. Citizen 9. Well, if you're first, I didn't read you earlier. Maybe I missed your name. We'll see. All right. This is a close. It's a close. Not even Jim's Mine. Jim's Mine. Are you first? Were you first? I don't know, because you say you beat Jomongus, but you don't have any votes. I don't know how is that even possible. If you are in the poll and you don't vote for yourself, I mean, you can vote for Jomongus. I mean, that's fair. You can vote for Extra J. Extra J is in 3rd place right now. Thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate it. Cutie neighbor across the street, right there. There you go. Okay, you can't scroll poll enough on phone to vote for myself. Dang it. What do you mean you can't scroll up? You can't scroll the poll enough? What do you mean? There's four options in the poll. Just put your phone sideways, put your phone straight. You click on the poll. Wow. Oh man, that's crazy. We're gonna open the YouTube live. If anybody would like to join, let's talk about Mars today. Let's share. I know there's some tests being done or have been already done about manned mission to Mars, right? Which I know we all know, how that's going. It's not going to happen anytime soon. But there's some kind of I don't know if it's a TV show, if it's a documentary, if it's something. But I just by coincidence I came across some of these photographs of astronaut suits, like really fancy ahead of the time, technology astronaut suits, and they're like in Utah, in a Utah desert, and there's a bunch of pictures and video clips and stuff, and I would like to share some of that. I don't have anything up, but if I Google it, I'll probably find something. About Utah, some kind of a desert, and anything about Mars and all of that stuff. Doofus, what do you think, man? What have you heard? I don't know if you're busy or you can speak yet, but Doofus is here. Yes.
It's difficult. I'm driving, but I haven't heard anything about that. But I was going to say that it looks like I'm first.
You say you're first, and if you think you are first, you don't have to vote in the poll. You can vote for yourself on the comments. Oh man, there's some evidence. There's some evidence over here. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen, just a comment, and then we will take it from there to try to find some goodies about Mars. We have also Bogov, Chaik, and Farmer's Boy in the house. Hello, gentlemen.
Hey. Hello.
Hello, good to see you all.
Are we off to Mars then?
We off to Mars today. Hell yeah, because
cool.
it's Martes in Spanish. It's Mars Day. Martes.
All right. Oh, cool. Oh,
Yeah,
I'm Monday.
Monday.
Let's go to Mars.
Monday is lunes, is the la luna, you know, the moon.
Yep.
Martes is the Mars day, you know. Miércoles, tomorrow is the Mercury day, you know. Wednesday, if we do a show. at least there's kind of a theme going on, you know. Yeah, Mars. What do you know about the Utah and Mars and astronaut suits, farmers? You should know something about it. I don't know if that's recent or older. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
It rings a vague bell. I haven't they been doing some testing out there or something? I mean, it's a struggle to try and simulate sort of, you know, Mars here on Earth. I would have thought the best place to simulate it would probably be Antarctica. And yes, Jamungus, I did vote for you.
Did you? Yeah, thank you.
Of course I vote. Who else am I going to vote for? Jamungus is always first. Always.
Oh man, good times. I mean, this is the first line of comments in the YouTube. I'm sharing my screen right now. We got RT96 and then Jamungus, but Jamungus say he's first, so I don't know, man.
Oh, Jamungus is always first.
Of course. Matt M2M. Mars astronauts in the desert? What's going on with it?
Yeah, I'm not sure precisely what you're talking about, but I think I might know what it is. Basically, NASA are trying to develop a spacesuit at the moment that can be used both for exploration and on a space station like the ISS. Now, I know they've been having quite a lot of issues with it, so they're testing it in various conditions and things like that too, because they want it to be more mobile. You know, if you look at the Apollo spacesuits, the EMUs as they were called, they're very bulky, very difficult to move, very difficult to walk, very difficult to sort of bend and pick things up, where they're trying to make it a lot more. And if you remember going back a couple of years ago, they actually showcased what the new spacesuit is going to look like. So I think that's probably what it is.
Right. Let me read this super chat. Cuso PR1, Cuso Puerto Rico, 4.99 super chat. Thank you, brother. I appreciate that, man. Hermano Boricua, muchas felicidades en estas Navidades. Espero que tu familia esté en salud. The earth is not flat. I checked. Happy holidays, Puerto Rico. Shout out to Cuso. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Just good thoughts and good shout outs in Christmas to the family and all that good stuff. That's the Spanish he typed. Thank you, Cuso. Gracias, mi hermano. Yep, I heard that. The Mars Research Station, you know, they built some kind of stuff like that. There's a Utah Mars Desert Research Station. We can open some of these links and see what, you know, a date on some of this stuff, because I'm really not completely sure what it is. Yes, as I say, I just came across it. And that's an interesting topic, because that's kind of in my wheelhouse, you know. Play a little flip flop over here and shit.
I think maybe because they're using it perhaps in the desert, because it's very similar to Mars. So I think that they're thinking ahead in the future rather than just the moon. And also, if you remember as well, they did train, the Apollo astronauts did actually train in the desert as well, because it's just very, very similar both to moon and the Mars actually. So yeah, it's quite a natural progression to do that, I think.
Nice, and it's just kind of reddish too, right? just the looks of it.
Well, yeah, that was wrong, maybe. Yeah.
It gives more that feel of being in the place. Let's play this video clip. You guys all watching my screen share?
Yep.
I'm just sharing the screen. I'm gonna play this video clip and see what's up. I hope we don't get in trouble with any copyright things due to sharing this stuff right here. All right, let's see what we got. Hopefully this audio and no.
The people we serve at Navy Mutual are.
Easy ads. Just let it roll for a little bit. The Red Cliffs just west of Hanksville, Utah, could easily be described as alien. Is the perfect setting to simulate a mission to the red planet of Mars. And let's see what this article has to say.
They should be set up in
Mars
Antarctica.
Desert Research Station looks like.
I'm sorry?
They should be set up in Antarctica.
Right.
Because if there's one thing Mars is, it's fucking cold.
Oh, right, yeah.
It is
But visually-
unbelievably cold.
But for the audience to convey the message, they cannot convey the feel of it, but they can convey the looks of it. So I think that's what.
Yeah, I
should
think
be ready.
Farmer's Ball's right. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Mars is bloody cold. It really is freezing cold. But the thing is, it's not. The ground is not covered in ice to begin with. So really, the deserts around these kinds of areas more sort of Mars-like. Really, the perfect analogy. It's rocky. Whereas Antarctica, isn't in the most part.
All right. There's a race on the poll on the chat box. Jeans Mine and Extra J are now like neck to neck. 6% of the votes. Shout out to whoever voted for Jim's Mind. All right, let's hear this article and see what they got to say.
It's like a real Mars habitat. The people living there look like real astronauts, and the land surrounding it really resembles the red planet.
We would see plateaus, we would see strata, these beautiful red colors all along the rock. And one of us would just stand very still and go, wow, if I didn't know better, I would think that this was Utah. It's gorgeous.
Shayna Hume is a 24-year-old space buff from CU Boulder. For the past 2 weeks, she and 5 other aspiring astronauts got to know what it's like to live and work on Mars.
It feels like you could be walking out onto the surface of another planet. It feels eerie and it feels empty in the most incredible way.
With the exception of Earth gravity, everything else in this simulated 2-week mission was all Mars. From the spacesuits to the science experiments. There was no contact with the outside world, no Netflix or grocery stores.
There wasn't really time to breathe and to relax. It felt like we were on the job. We had a whole list of things to do.
The Mars habitat was shut down during the bulk of the pandemic. This was the first crew in more than a year. Hume says these simulations help individuals prepare for their careers in space, but more individuals per year. Hume says these simulations
look like it, yeah.
What's that lineup? 1, 2, 3 guys and 3 girls. Oh, okay. All right.
year. Hume says these simulations help individuals prepare for their careers in space, but more importantly, it helps the astronaut community know what works and what doesn't when it comes to life in space. Living on Mars might still be distant, but she says the moon is close.
And so 15 years from now, I think we'll be living and working on the moon, and I really hope to be working on how to improve that life.
Meteorologist Corey Reppenhagen, 9 News.
All right. Shout out to that article. Thoughts, guys?
Bullshit. Spacesuits. Spacesuits.
Yeah, I don't.
Hold on, Chai. Hold on, Chai. You me first. Let's get Chai first, and then you. You say bullshit, Chai. Just one word as a feedback. Tell me.
Yeah, that's bullshit. Come on,
why do you say that? Come on.
You heard from us, boy. It's fucking cold there.
Yeah, it's really not much to do with spacesuits, rather than research into how you could potentially live in isolation. In other words, going to Mars. Because if you go to Mars, you're going to have to take everything you're going to need with you, because if something happens there, you're on your own. You ain't going to be rescued. So I think that's what they're looking at. It's more to do with research. They were wearing NASA badges, but I don't think it's a NASA-run project. I think it's a private sort of science project that's probably partly funded by NASA. But no, I don't think it's bullshit. I think there's some research involved in that. So like you saw there, looks like they were growing stuff and planting things like that. So it's more to do with kind of like, okay, how can we live and how do people interact, and could human beings cope with that kind of isolation and all that kind of stuff? I think I remember seeing something about this before.
Yeah. It's from 2021. Go ahead. Then.
Did they spend 4 hours, 8 hours, 2 hours in decompression before they go out?
Well, you probably wouldn't need to do that in the spacesuit on Mars.
Why? What's the pressure there?
Yeah, it's only really like a general, sort of simulation. It's like you're isolated there. They're in the middle of nowhere, so they give that sense of kind of isolation. I think that's really all it is. It's not much more than that.
Ah, like the Big Brother, something. No, not Big Brother. Survivor. Nice.
All right. So yeah, but I don't. I think there's more. Isolation. It's just isolation, pretty much. There's more of this. I mean, that's not the only thing about Mars on the desert. There more.
How about Jose? You called 3 guys and 3 girls isolation.
Yeah, right. That's not isolation, bro. That's a party. That's awesome.
Right.
That's life right there.
Yeah. Come on. This is for research purposes.
Good times, man.
Exactly.
Who knows how many booze and happy party flavors are in there,
Exactly.
man.
We're supposed to be researching again.
Shit.
And if you see, they match the height. So there's a tall girl and tall guy.
Tall girl and tall guy.
Short girl and a short guy, and two in the middle.
And then you got this there, yeah.
they had a match.
If you think about it, if people do go to Mars, if you get men and women there, nature's going to take its course. Do you know what I mean? So what you're saying is actually absolutely true. Something's going to happen, isn't it?
And then you will have Martians.
Well, that's part of the
because
plan.
you'll have people
Stay
born
there.
on Mars. There'll be Martians.
Mars is too far away to do the go and return thing, probably.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I suspect that the first crewed mission would be there and back again, but I think after that it's going to be there, and you ain't coming back.
Wait, didn't Elon Musk plan to die there? Huh?
Right. A few years ago, he's looking for people to go on the one-way trip.
Yeah, you're looking for people who would go to settle the place. You leave everything behind and you move to Mars.
Matt, hold on, Matt.
Yeah.
Your speakers are maybe a little bit too loud. You're giving some feedback over here.
All right, yeah, I'll pause. I'll go on my computer in a second. I'll just come off. 1 second.
You're in the bathroom, aren't you?
Sounds
No,
echoey.
I'm in an empty room, but I'm not in the bathroom, no.
Oh yeah, an empty room and no furniture. Yeah.
Is Mars the kind of place to raise a kid?
Not yet. Elton John was bang on. Mars isn't the kind of place to raise your kid.
Is Earth the kind of place you want to raise a kid?
Shout
Not really got a lot. Not really got a lot of choices at the moment, have we? It's here or nothing.
But when you actually look at what can kill you here, it's amazing we're still here.
Yeah, but like
Well,
I say, we don't really have any alternatives at the moment, do we?
There are more things that'll kill you on Earth than will kill you on Mars.
Like, this is a different group, I think.
I mean,
The
there are
problem with
no
going to
bears.
Mars is it's a planet populated by robots. I might not like us going there.
Well, I mean, there are no bears or sharks that'll kill you on Mars.
Lions and tigers.
And
Oh
bears.
my!
Oh my!
Oh my!
These are different group of people. These guys are doing a Martian thing too.
However, if you go outside and take your helmet off, that's it.
That would be
You're
bad.
dead. That would be double plus ungood.
You see, there's a different group of people.
Yeah, well, they
Yeah.
had.
145. But it's in the same place. It looks like the same capsule thing, huh?
Oh, I think it is. I think they have different crews because didn't they say they pretty much shut it down during the Lurgy?
Okay.
So I'm guessing you had crews in there before, and then this crew or another crew afterwards.
Okay.
I don't think it's one of these tests where they try to simulate, the entire trip out there, time on Mars, and then coming back again, because that's years.
Yeah, they say in the beginning the suits don't work. I'm not getting air from the suit. If this wasn't Earth, I'll be dead right now.
Oh yeah.
I'm getting no air from the suit. One crewmate radioed. If this weren't Earth, I'd be dead right now. You know, so
Yep.
yeah.
That's the problem with the Martian atmosphere. There's not an awful lot of it. There's not much pressure, but you can't breathe it, and it is very, very cold.
It's just one where they simulate the one where they simulate the time delays too, right?
Not sure.
I don't know, but that would be a good idea because yes, you can't have a chat like we are now because it's just too far away.
Right.
You also can't have a barbecue on Mars, so yeah, I'm not interested in going there.
That's true. Yeah, good point. Yeah, no Barbie.
The only thing, wearing these big suits on Earth would suck because of the full gravity. You know, it'd be better on Mars with like what 60% gravity, I think it is.
Something like it's certainly less than we've got here on Earth. I can't remember what it is.
This one look legit.
There are places out west, United States, that look pretty much like that.
No, it's
Utah,
third Earth gravity.
Arizona, Utah, yeah.
0.4, 0.38. But the pressure is 0.0069 atmosphere. So yeah, you need a spacesuit there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like real spacesuit, like they have on the ISS.
Yes, the atmosphere's almost not there, isn't it?
Right.
It's so thin.
And you can't have lots of pressure inside suit, so you need to decompress.
It's thin, but it's there. I mean, they got that helicopter to fly.
Yes, they did. Yeah, they got that to fly.
Yeah, they made it to fly there, but your lungs not really suited for that pressure.
I'm also guessing if you move to Mars, you would have to convert to vegetarianism.
Yes.
Oh,
no cows.
Well, unless they nail this growth of meat.
And the new meat they grow in labs, maybe you could have that.
Mm-hmm.
Wait. You can buy rocks from Mars. Can you buy rocks from Mars? From a reputable dealer?
Meteorites.
I mean, rocks from Mars. Rocks from Mars is 500 kilograms of Martian meteoric material lands on Earth every year, etc., etc. But as for the fun name is rocks from Mars.
What eject those big, huge rocks from Mars?
And how do we know it's from Mars?
Chemically. It's a good question. You should look it up.
Wait, if you find a rock that is chemically matched Earth, you say it's from Mars. Earth, or maybe Earth is made of such rocks.
Question. Good question. Look it up. Painas Achille. I'm looking it up.
Yep.
That's why I'm asking because I don't find the answer.
Oh, I found it.
Well, you can make pretend it's from Mars.
Nope.
If you like it.
I found a figure. It says here, Martian meteorites, rockets formed on Mars, was ejected from the planet by an impact event and traversed interplanetary space before landing on Earth as a meteorite. As of September 2020, 277 meteorites have been classified as Martian, which is less than 0.5% of the 72,000 meteorites that have been classified. So because we've had probes and things up there long enough to analyze what the Martian soil surface and rocks are like, ever since the 70s when the two Viking landers landed. So they've got a pretty good idea of what's Martian. And I think a lot of these meteorites are found in places like Antarctica where they've landed on the ice. So they're not, it's not just an Earth rock.
Right.
I think that's where they're getting most of these from. That they can say, yeah, that's definitely a meteorite. That's come from space somewhere because it's landed on top of ice, and the nearest Earth rock is, 2 miles down, because that's how thick some of the ice is in Antarctica. I guess they just compare it to what they think they already know about Mars.
All right.
And who is touring Antarctica to find a rock that randomly fell somewhere?
Oh, there are plenty. I think there are still plenty of people who like to go exploring.
Mars, Antarctica.
Yeah, but what the chance is that you find a rock that is laying on the ice? Somewhere.
If you do find one, though, they do find them, though.
Mm.
Yeah.
Because there's not, believe it or not, it doesn't snow a lot in Antarctica either, usually.
But it's just the weather. It's cold.
Yeah, it's
Well,
damn cool.
it is technically a desert, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. Most meteorites in Antarctica are found on blue ice. Areas of blue ice lack snow cover and allow the meteorites to be more easily exposed. Plus, they also have what they call hotspots, where they know that meteorites tend to be found, or that the movement of the ice has brought up meteorites that have come down earlier and been frozen in the ice.
Yeah, they actually found one that came from Mars in 1984. And I think it was from a cosmic impact about 17 million years ago. And then hit Earth about 13,000 years ago, they think.
Mm.
And they've confirmed that it's come from Mars. They found that in Antarctica, in the Allen Hills, wherever that is.
First recorded meteorite in Antarctica was the Adélie Land meteorite found in 1912. This article I found in the last few decades, researchers have been actively exploring Antarctica to retrieve tens of thousands of meteorites. So yeah, you've got people out there actively looking for them.
Is this the NASA from Europe or whatever? The European Space Agency?
Yeah, it's the ESA. Yeah, it's the European Space. Yeah, like the European version of NASA. Yeah.
All right, like this is the main page. This is the NASA, the main page of the ESA.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I haven't explored this.
They've done and sponsored an awful lot of stuff. I mean the Artemis one that's just come back, the service module wasn't it called the European Service Module?
Yes.
Yeah, so that gives you a clue of where it came from and who sponsored it and designed it and built it. And
yeah, if you look at Orion, actually, you'll see the ESA badges all over the service module.
Yeah. I mean, they did quite pointedly call it the ESM, didn't they? The European Service Module. And yeah, there's more up there than just NASA. I mean, how many times, if you watch the ISS, do they mention the Canada arm? Guess where that came from?
And then you have JAXA, and then you have the Chinese Space Agency.
Yeah.
Many others as well.
There's about 90 odd. 90 odd national space agencies, aren't there? I mean, some of them. There are a few. They're a space agency, but they haven't really done anything or launched anything. Then you've got a few that have launched satellites, and then you've got the very select few that have actually put people into space, of which there really aren't that many.
No. Because it's difficult.
Yes. It's one thing to lob a satellite into space. It's another thing to actually put a person up there and get them back in one piece.
And alive.
Still alive. Yes.
Yeah.
One piece. Yeah. He seems smaller than when we sent him up, and he wasn't quite so black.
We know a Russian that happened to that.
Yes, he wasn't quite so extra crispy. Poor sod. Yeah.
We got the agenda from ESA 2025.
Ooh.
This is what we were seeing in the NASA. There was an agenda 2024, which it was the men and women will walk on the moon, but that they canceled that. So let's see what the agenda 2025 for ESA is so far. Then if you guys remember, come back next year, it might be agenda 2030 or something. Who knows? Full agenda document. Oh man, these letters. Does he have what do you call it? Illustrations.
I don't think you'll find a whole too many, to be honest. It's very general, to be perfectly honest with it. It's all full of fluff, to be honest.
It's
Mostly.
going to be an awful lot of words. There you
Yeah,
go.
yeah.
Lots and lots of words. I think you'll find. Oh, I don't know. The next page has got a pretty picture on it. Going by the preview there.
Yeah.
Bro,
So you might be in luck.
Let me give it a read, the first one to go really quick and give it a try, right? The year is 2035. ESA has just celebrated the 60th anniversary of its creation in 1975. The year Jose was born. That part is there in parentheses, very small letters. Europe has grown as a global leader in space, along the USA, Russia, China, and other prominent space partners. Thanks to clever investment, the new rules of engagement made by ESA, the EU, and national agencies, space have been opened up to private companies whose activities to contribute the increased employment, profit, and inclusive growth in Europe. Europe's presence in space has increased its global influence, prestige, and economic standing worldwide. Europe has had to revolutionize its launcher section of the 2020s and has created a completely new, more competitive and reusable launcher system. European astronaut Aurora is about to start her adventure as the third European to land on the moon. It will be her final training mission before the next big exploration leap, setting foot on Phobos in orbit around Mars. The Phobos landing will cement Europe's exploration heritage and confirm Europe as part of humankind's next historic venture, a Mars landing. Thank you very much. I think I read that pretty good. I might have skipped or done a little bit extra or less, but I did okay.
You did very well, Jose. When I think back to 2 or 3 years ago, I don't think you'd have dared do that, would you?
No. I did pretty quick too. I didn't stumble too much in some words. I might have bullshit them, but I didn't stumble.
Phobos is obviously one of the 2 moons that Mars has, Phobos and Deimos.
Yeah.
So the ESA is planning to land something in Phobos then?
Well,
or orbit or whatever. I analyze it.
How much of this is just sort of wishful thinking and I mean they're looking ahead to 2035, 12, 13 years ahead. Who knows? Who knows what they're going to be doing?
Is it big enough for a landing? Like, if it's possible to send a craft.
Phobos, yes.
You could do,
Yeah, they're not big enough to have become spherical. You generally these stellar masses. There's a minimum size before they compress into a sphere, and these 2 moons aren't big enough. One of them is. I can never remember which one it is. They're both quite irregular, but one does look a bit potato-shaped,
Yeah, well, Phobos, I think that is.
I think it's Phobos. Yeah, they're not big enough. There's not enough mass there for it to compress into a ball like all the planets and an awful lot of the moons around, say, Jupiter and Saturn. You'll find all of them there. They're like our moon. They're spherical, but these 2, the 2 little Martian ones, aren't big enough, so they never became spherical. They are lumps of rock. But they're still quite a size. They're certainly big enough. If you got that far, you could land on them. I mean, there would be absolutely bugger all gravity on them that you'd notice because they're just too small. But yeah, you could certainly land on them.
Right.
Might need a lot of ballast in your boots or something.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it would be like the old deep sea divers, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, you thought Apollo had over boots on. Well, take a look at these beauties. Clomp, clomp, clomp. I think mobility wouldn't be too much of an issue there. It's more like keeping your feet on the bloody ground. Wouldn't take much to drift off. Oh no, Bendy Light. It's solid. There's just not enough. There isn't enough of it to become spherical.
Yeah, It's not very big, and it's not very. Neither of them are very dense either. So there's not a whole lot of matter to create gravity, like Farmers was saying, for it to be circular. They're pretty small.
Just seeing if they have tried to calculate how much.
They have somewhere at some point.
Oh, surface gravity 0.0057 meters per second squared.
Yeah,
I mean that is to all intents and purposes nothing. You just wouldn't notice it. Has an escape velocity of 11.39 meters a second, which is 41 kilometers an hour. You could take a run and a jump and you're off. That's it. You've achieved escape velocity.
Well, I'm not sure I could run 41 kilometers, especially in a spacesuit. I'm not sure about that, though. But
what's that in real money?
All right, before we jump into Nestle Wipes link, he shared a link about different topic, but let me play. This is from ESA and MTG, the next generation. Not sure what it is. It's a 48-second video. He got volume. I don't know if he got music or something. We'll see what this is. I see Earth and some kind of a spaceship type of ISS thing. Let's see what we get. Spaceship. What the hell? That's loud.
Meteorology.
Oh, it's a weather thing. Okay. Gonna be new satellite camera. Yeah, mute that. Hype music, too hype.
That's overly dramatic, isn't it?
Yeah, you might get a claim for that music as well.
Yeah, man. All right.
Sorry, Jose. Did you say I posted that?
Nestle Wipes. Yes, you posted. No, you posted something. I
didn't post that. I didn't post that at all.
You didn't. What I'm playing right now, you didn't post. No, I posted.
No.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, what's coming up next is posted by you. But yeah, they're working in a thing over here. In a thing for weather, I guess. It's not too much information. Maybe if I read it. I am reading.
There's some satellites coming up. They haven't been, I don't think they're going up for a few years yet. I did see a link the other day that they're actually going to be measuring Earth's tides.
Yeah, it's actually launching next week.
Was it next week? Oh.
Yeah, it's going to measure the entire surface water of the globe, the entirety of it, in quite fine detail.
Well, clearly it'll be fake because water finds its own level.
Yeah, so it'll be interesting.
Space is fake, so there's no point putting a satellite up there to measure that water finds its own level. We already know that. Thank you.
Yeah, so to the greatest detail that's ever been measured before, so they'll be able to actually see water levels on the entire surface of the Earth, including lakes, rivers, significant rivers, and things like that.
That's pretty damn cool. That is. But they will. The flirts will just ignore it and go, well, it's a satellite, so obviously it's fake. Because space is fake. Reasons.
Look, a drill built for Mars is being used to bore into Antarctic bedrock. They're using tools that they're want to use on Mars. They're using it on Antarctica.
Is this what Snesley posted?
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
No, we see things like that. You can test. Oh, we want to build a drill and take it to Mars. Well, fine, we can test that here.
Yeah, but it's getting it there as well. That's the other part of the
yes.
problem.
But it's not known if it's going to actually work accurately because the drill hasn't been tested there. Nobody have stepped foot in there yet. Yes, ships and robotic stuff, but like human physically, I don't know. Is it going to work?
Yeah.
I think.
Well, the problem with designing kit to work on Mars is again it's the cold, which is obviously why they're testing it in Antarctica, because whatever you send up there to use, it's got to be able to operate in extreme cold conditions.
Yep.
And they already know from years and years of doing research in places like Antarctica, and the Russians in most of their country, like Siberia, you do have to build and adapt things to work in extremely cold temperatures. But we can do that, so
Well,
You know,
but
if you want to make a drill that's going to Mars, well, fine.
But how
Test
about
it
the
in Antarctica.
material? How about the material that is going to drill into? What if it drills 2 feet down and then it just becomes like over here on Earth? It's known that you drill down and you're going to find different layers and different thickness and texture of the dirt. So you don't know what the texture of Mars will be. They have the high hopes that it just the cold and just for hard rocks and hard materials, but they don't know like actually what they physically find when they
Well, of course not.
if they do, yeah.
No, in the most part, yeah, you're right. They don't. I mean, they're starting to learn a little bit. They're getting a general idea from seismic activity from InSight. InSight was measuring seismic activity, so they've got a rough idea. But you're absolutely right. In most areas, they really don't know what's down below more than a few inches. To be perfectly honest, you're right.
Yes,
I think that's the Curiosity, right? Curiosity had drills, right? Or on the helicopter thing,
Yeah,
he had drills.
An inch or two, maybe. That's as far as they drilled into. Yeah.
That's why, give or take a few feet. Let's say that the first few inches will demonstrate was under 1 or 2 feet down, 24 inches.
Mm.
Well, that's the thing with exploring. You're not really going to find out until you go there and try it.
Yeah, what if they drill down 2 feet and they just crack Mars and they burst it down? Shit. Yes.
I don't think that's very likely, but yeah, you don't know until you try it.
The other problem with Mars is there's no tectonic activity, so they can't really measure a huge amount of seismic activity. There was some, but not very much, to actually really get a really good, clear idea of what's meters or kilometers down, underneath the Earth. They got a rough idea, but it's only rough.
How long till they be able to dig 1 mile down on Mars? I mean, 8 miles on Earth. Ask Dimok. Ask any flat earther. Ask me. 8 miles down.
It took them a while to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, part of the problem is if you think about how they drill here, kilometers down, you're going to need human beings down there. Well, the drill bits run out or whatever, they go wrong. You need to get them out and you need to repair them. It's going to take human beings to do that, and you need a lot of machinery, and of course, you need somewhere to go to live. They need all the equipment, they need oxygen, they need water and food, and all these kinds of things. So yeah, it's a massive amount of infrastructure just to do a bit of drilling.
I'll just send Bruce Willis.
Yeah.
All right, shout out. Before we move on to a new topic, we'll come back to this, but we're gonna talk about nuclear fusion after this. But any thoughts on the Mars and Utah and Antarctica drilling, all that kind of stuff?
Farmers don't say a thing.
My lips are sealed.
Stingray, what do you think about Mars? They're testing some spacesuits and isolation in Utah. I think that's the only thing they're going to test. Isolation, even though there's 3 guys and 3 girls staying together. Is that isolation? I don't even think Stingray is he's just listening as a background noise, probably. Gonna put him in the spot. Oh, man. Snesley, I don't know what kind of material you share with me. Don't copyright strike me. Let's see what we get.
New this morning, scientists from a Northern California lab announced a major breakthrough to produce clean energy. They've successfully produced the first ever nuclear fusion reaction, resulting in a net energy gain, which is key in creating a clean energy source.
Wait, is that like what Iron Man did? Iron Man, for those familiar with comic books? A small nuclear reactor.
What, with his arc reactor?
Arc reactor, yeah. That's another word for the nuclear reactor.
I can't remember. Was that fusion or not? I can't remember. I'm not sure.
I just got to break down this in like 4 parts at least. Pause it and keep playing.
But basically, what she said is that that I think the whole thrust is that this is the first time that somebody's got a nuclear reactor, a fusion reactor, to put out more energy than has gone in, because that's been the big problem up to now. We can get them to work, but they use up more energy than they produce. So as a power plant, they fail. But they're now claiming that it actually produces more power than it's used to get it going.
I heard in the Vines that nuclear fusion always finds its own level.
Oh yes. Yeah, definitely.
Down in the vines. Shout out to everybody watching, 25 watching. That's good because I know there's a few live streams around. So I shout out to the 25, 27 here. Hit the like and please hook me up, with whatever you can on PayPal. I really plead into to the case of hooking me up with a little something. I mean, shit aren't as smooth as I thought, and anybody can help me out a little bit. Let's go. I'm trying to break this down in at least 4 parts to avoid any copyright and all those issues.
You were right about the Iron Man thing, by the way, Jose. Yeah,
right.
His suit uses nuclear fusion.
You see, nuclear fusion. Very nice.
The reaction was conducted last week at the National Ignition Facility, the world's largest laser system. Fusion is the energy that powers the sun and stars. Scientists believe this could be the key to becoming less dependent on fossil fuels.
Fusion is the energy that powers the sun, or something like that. I don't know.
Yes.
Maybe it's paraphrasing.
Yes, that's how the sun works through nuclear fusion.
Wow.
So that's
I think the sun doesn't work like this. The main sequence there is proton-proton reaction, and this is the deuterium-tritium reaction, which are a bit different.
Yeah.
This look a bit nasty to me because it produced one neutron, which I don't think is very good for our health.
But it was fire.
Plasma.
So plasma is fusion, nuclear is fusion.
Yeah, it's not fire.
No, they hated it enough to fuse. For what they said, the time it takes light to travel 10 meters.
I know they used a very, very powerful laser. I know that much.
Very fast.
Yeah.
The speed is very fast, Shai. The question you asked.
The time is very short.
Yeah, time very short and goes very fast. They give you more information.
Is time, not as speed.
Let's go another 15 seconds. Let's see what we got.
It's not like a fluke or like a magical discovery. It was the result of this continuous, steady progress.
The reaction created by the scientists is a controlled version of the same reaction that takes place in nuclear weapons without the mass destruction. This could allow the government to research deterrence for nuclear weapons without the needs for real-world weapons testing.
Ouch.
Now we get to the real bottom of it.
There you go. Shai, tell us what you think, man. What's in your mind?
It's not about creating power for us. It's for creating nuclear weapons.
Right. Without the big boom.
Right.
Never the pessimist.
Yeah, they just want the effect, but they don't want the visual, the action, the big explosion.
Wasn't mine once.
Yeah, I'm sorry for posting that first video. That the second one I posted kind of explains it a little bit better. That was like a news post, which is clearly.
Oh, it's probably the conference, wasn't it? Probably that you posted.
Yeah, you want to say it painted it in brighter colors.
Oh God! Why are you so pessimistic, Chike? Jesus!
They said it, not me.
It just is.
You guys want to hear a little bit more about the topic?
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, we'll play a little bit. I'm 125. This 1.5 is a little too fast sometimes.
So scientists are celebrating the safe, abundant, clean source of energy. They say it could change the world. How so?
Yes, so actually you summed it up quite nicely. But I should say that it's a major scientific breakthrough, but we still have some time before we could actually commercialize it and gain actual energy from this. So what the scientists did is they used the most energetic laser system in the world.
All right, almost 30 seconds. The 30 seconds fair use kind of threshold. I don't want to cross it. Every time to pause it a little bit. Is this a family member of what's his name? Totopoulos, the ancient aliens guy. Just the hair, kind of cousin, distant cousin.
Don't know who you're on about.
I forgot his name. What's the ancient alien's name? This
you've lost
guy.
me.
This guy. Is a cousin. Second cousin due to hair, because of the hair. What's his name? Jonathan Topoulos or whatever his name is. I forgot his name. Oh man. Anyways,
which is it houses 10 stories building, and they used it in order to bombard a tiny piece of a pea-sized piece that contains this fuel that will create the fusion and all of this energy. And by doing so, they created a small explosion called an implosion that generated heat and pressure similar to the one found in the center of the sun. And for a fraction of a second, it released more energy than the energy put in this system by the lasers. And
any thoughts so far? Everything looking good with what he's saying?
Yeah, I guess so, yeah.
I guess he's trying to explain. I'm not understanding yet.
this is something that that physicists and engineers have tried to do for over 7 decades now. And this major breakthrough will actually now will open the door for new scientific breakthroughs, more investigations, and therefore hopefully more rapid development towards cleaner and better energy sources. But as you said, it will take some time. So this will probably or hopefully be realized by the second half of this century. But until then, we need to invest more.
Whoa. Second half of the century. You know what? I'm not a smart man, but I know what derp is. Second half of the century, that will make it after 2050. Maybe 2060, 70, 2080, somewhere around there. That's the second half of the century. Am I correct?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
no rush.
Yeah.
All right. I understood that. See, I'm not that as dumb as people think. I'm not as illiterate. I'm not as sent hundreds of fucking dozens and how do you call the hundreds, the centenaries of years?
Centuries.
Centuries, damn it.
It goes decades, centuries, and then millennia.
Okay, they see I'm not that illiterate. Even though I just proved you that I am, but just ignore that part.
No, it's like, I mean, it's just English is not your first language, is it? So it's understandable. It's fine.
My English is not very good looking, man. You know it.
I speak about 2 words of Spanish, so you know, it's fine.
Yeah. All right. So in the second half of the century,
effort and energy into the existing energy sources that we currently have.
We heard scientists there talking about the ability to put the sun into a bottle. Give us an idea of these next breakthroughs that you alluded to right now. After this, what are the next kind of innovations or breakthroughs we're likely to see following this on this day?
Wait, are they doing this because DMOC asked them to put the piece of the sun in the bottle? I think this is because of DMOC. DMOC have created nuclear fusion energies. Nestle Wipes, you know what you have done? You have shared what DMOC has been asking for. These people are going to put a piece of the sun in a bottle. Any thoughts, guys? How about that?
You're welcome.
DMOC will be happy with you. He's your best friend today. Piece of the sun in a bottle. Maybe that bottle could be on a bucket. And then the bucket could be on a vacuum, and the circle is completed. DMOC will not be a flat earther anymore if we get that for him. He just got to live to the second half of the century.
Well, I mean, I just find it fascinating. Like, you know, I mean, this is a major breakthrough.
Yeah.
Whether they can scale it up to be useful is another story. Is another question.
As I understand, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
No, I was listening to the conference, the press conference that they had earlier on. Essentially, what they're saying is the research scientists, their part is more or less what they were saying is kind of done, because it's got to a point now where it can be developed into something they can actually have a fusion reactor. There's obviously still a lot more work to be done, but all it is a development process now because they show it can be done. So it's just a case of handing it over to private enterprise to develop it into a reactor over the next, 10, 20, 30 years or however long it's going to take. Or whatever it is they're going to use it for. Of course, we know that militaries are going to get hold of it, I'm sure. But, that's as I understand it as well.
Right. Spend a little bit more. Let's see what he says. Because I that sounded interesting. Piece of the sun in a bucket, in a jar or something. I'll mute it while I play a little bit more.
Yeah, so actually there are two different ways in order to put the sun in a bottle. One of them is now made in several places in the world, and the largest one is happening in South France, and hopefully they will make this in roughly 10 years time. It will be online, and this involves very hot gas called the plasma that needs to collide with such enough high energies, and it hits to millions of degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. In this respect, it doesn't really matter the units that you use. So you need to hit it so much such that they collide and fuse.
Oh, what's happened?
Hello.
Still there, Jose? Yes, I'm here. Sorry, I was talking. I didn't realize I was muted. We just getting instructions on how to make this, to make a piece of the sun, to make a mini sun and put it in a jar. Anybody thinking of doing this? You guys?
Well, I think it'd be stupid for some private industry not to do it, because if the first ones that actually do develop it into a nuclear reactor, then it's going to be massively beneficial financially for them, isn't it?
A 10-story building for
developing. Then, yeah.
Chai, you're gonna let Dimok know that this is available now, and he got the instructions on how to do it.
For Dimok, everything is helium already, so you don't need to fuse anything. I'll wait until Sabine Ossenfelder shed some light on it, because she usually speaks the truth.
All right. Let's see. We're just getting instructions step by step on how to create a small sun. Did he say we need millions of degrees? One of the factors, millions or millions of degrees or Fahrenheit or Celsius.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it was
Kelvin
100. I don't know what it is in Kelvin, but I know it's like about 100 million degrees Celsius. Yeah.
How can that be accomplished?
Hold on. I think I heard him say 3 million.
I thought he said 3 million or something like that as well.
How did he?
That's not what's happening in the sun.
That temperature, it doesn't matter what you're using to, Fahrenheit, Celsius, Kelvin. It really doesn't matter.
Can it be accomplished at the high temperature?
Hold on. Celsius and
They
Kelvin
did.
are the same.
Yeah, they've done it, so yeah.
yeah, they can. They've done it. This is what this is about.
I mean, they use like something under like 300 different lasers to accomplish it. Like, but yeah, it's done.
Yeah. Am I right in saying that with nuclear fusion, you don't need so much of the fuel in order to produce this reaction? Would that be right in saying? As compared to fission?
I'm not sure on the amount of fuel, but it's certainly a cleaner process than fission, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Tomahawks are up to 100 million Celsius. What?
Oh, the tokamak reactor.
Tomahawk. Oh, I said Tomahawks. Damn it.
Yeah,
the
Tomahawks.
Tokamaks. All right, here we go.
That's the tokamak is the clip that Fight the Flat Earth keeps showing when he says, his was it pressure without a container or whatever it is, and it's all held in with magnetic fields in the torus. That's that clip you keep showing is inside a tokamak reactor.
Tomahawk, stop saying.
Pressure next to vacuum.
Vacuum, that was it. Yeah. That's the clip he keeps showing is the inside of one of those reactors.
All right, here we go.
Millions of degrees Fahrenheit or Celsius. In this respect, it doesn't really matter the units that you use. So you need to heat it so much such that they collide and fuse. And what this is one method that most technologies try to achieve. But what the scientists in the National Ignition Facility did is something else. They used a small target and they just bombarded it with a laser such that only for a fraction of a second you get these high temperatures and high forces that you find in the center of the sun. And so what they will need to do now is to make.
What do we find in the center of the sun? What have anybody found on the center of the sun? When have anybody found anything in the center of the sun?
He's really talking figuratively speaking rather than literally.
So pretending that that's what's happening on the center of the sun.
No, I mean they know it's happening because of research and what they can actually do and what they know what's actually happening.
Who is they, and how do they know what's in the center of the sun? Who is they, and when did they figure this out?
The science community. Beyond that, that's about as far as my knowledge goes.
How does anybody know what's in the center of the sun?
I'll tell you how. You go to university, study physics for I don't know how many years. You do research for I don't know how many more years, and then you know.
How do you know if it hasn't been reached?
Well, I told you need to learn a lot.
Learn a lot of who he who teaches the information, he who wrote the information must know how that can be accomplished.
He does know. Can't explain it to you in 2 minutes.
So somebody sometime have been in the center of the sun and they know what's in there.
No, they don't need to be in the center of the sun.
That's what I'm asking for, and you cannot explain that to me. How do they know that was in the center of the sun?
I can't explain it to you because I didn't learn. I didn't study all this.
You don't understand it, so you're just running with it. You just believe it and running with it. You don't even understand it, and you're just preaching it.
Yes, because I listen to subject expert.
You remember when I said this to somebody else, Jose? I don't know if you remember this, but I said, have you been inside an internal combustion engine? Of course you haven't, but you get in your car or you get in somebody's car and you know it works. Right.
Somebody created that. Somebody have been there. Somebody made it.
Yeah.
Not the sun. Not the sun.
But the thing that's actually happening inside it, right? It's combustion is happening inside the combustion chamber, right? Or whatever you call it, the piston chamber. I don't know. I forget what it's called.
So who made the sun to know what's in the center of it?
But we know.
You're making a wrong analogy. You're talking about something here physical on Earth, and you're comparing it to something unreachable, bro.
Yeah,
no,
but
they created a hydrogen bomb. We should know what's going on there.
They created it physically, made it with parts. Who made the sun? Who put the parts together? Who was up there?
You don't need to put the parts. It works on the same principles.
Shit.
Damn, son.
Damn, man. Bro.
Bruh.
All right, let's go a little bit more here. A few more seconds.
Much more of these explosions, you may say. So now they could do it only once per day, more or less, and they would need to make many of them every second in order for it to be commercialized. And also they need to make the laser system much, much more efficient. So now they get more energy out than the energy invested by the lasers, but they actually need roughly 100 times more energy in order to run the lasers than the energy that eventually get into the igniting fuel.
Well, it certainly sounds like.
All right.
What I want to see is the explosion. Where is it? They didn't have a cover there?
They ain't gonna show that, man.
Why not?
That's too advanced for our eyes. to see.
Chike, why are you asking Jose why not? Why the news readers not showing it? I mean,
we need video. Where's the video, man?
Look, that isn't space. It's a chamber. You can put the camera in there or out there or somewhere.
Well, maybe there is. Maybe they just haven't shared it with the world yet.
Why?
I don't know. Ask them.
We shine a laser for a very short time. There is an explosion. I want to see it.
Okay, go and have a look at it then.
When they release it, if they do, if it ever happened.
Are you playing devil's advocate now?
Oh, for sure.
Chai keeping it real over there. Keep it real, man. I'm gonna call you. I'm gonna change your name to Truth Shike.
That's Jose's job to do that, Shike, not yours.
Truth in the beginning of your name, Shike.
Oh, I can
make a legend.
Just change his name to Mr. Jolly.
Hold on, I can be skeptic.
What? You can be what?
Skeptic.
He can be a septic.
A septic, yeah.
And septic.
He's simply nobody good looking either. I got him. He's a skeptic.
I don't think Chuck's very impressed with this at all. I get the impression.
Well, look, I already saw one full video of Sabine Hossenfeld that talked about all those fusion research, and all of them are hoax. Even the
hoax.
Even the one built in France is not going to power anything.
You're probably looking at cold fusion or something, Jake. I mean,
no, you want? I'll go look for the video, and you can watch it.
Yeah, but you cannot cause an explosion with nuclear fusion. It's impossible.
Say what?
You cannot
concentrate 3 million joules. 3 million megajoules in a little capsule. What happens?
3 megajoules, not 3 megajoules, not 300.
3 megajoules, yeah, 3 megajoules for a fraction of a second in a little capsule. What happens to it?
Well, they did an experiment, so they're not dead. So
I didn't. Say they are dead. The capsule is inside some chamber. Of course, they not put it out in the open.
Megajoules.
I mean, I think it's quite a lot. 3 megajoules. Safely to say, it's quite a lot when you hit a little marble the size of a pea.
Yeah, but it's basically I was going to say the opposite. But it's if you compare it to nuclear fission, which is what we get our energy from nuclear reactors around the world.
Megajoules.
I mean,
what's the opposite? What do you mean by the opposite?
I don't mean the opposite, but I'm saying that nuclear fusion, as opposed to nuclear fission, which is where we get nuclear energy, where things tend to go wrong. And our disastrous.
I didn't say it go wrong. I didn't say it go wrong.
I'm trying to explain to you the benefits.
Are you saying fusion is not there won't be an explosion?
Nuclear fusion, no.
Fusion, no? Have you seen a hydrogen bomb ever take off? What does it look to you?
That's nuclear fission.
No, hydrogen bomb. It's called hydrogen because
it's nuclear fission.
No, its detonator is nuclear fission. The hydrogen bomb is fusion.
No, it's fission.
It's the same hydrogen they used.
It's fission.
No, the hydrogen bomb is actually fusion. I've just looked it up.
It's basic.
It's hydrogen.
This tritium and deuterium and this tritium and deuterium. Same stuff.
Deuterium.
Yeah, one is heavy hydrogen and one is very heavy hydrogen.
Oh, sorry. A hydrogen bomb uses fission to power a fusion reaction.
Yes,
Okay.
that's what I said. It's a
Yeah.
fission. It's not fusion.
Again, no, you got it backwards.
No, I haven't. I've just read that out from a
fusion. Like I said, the fusion is the
Dude,
detonator
if
of
the
the
hydrogen,
fusion.
if the hydrogen bomb was fusion, we would have fusion reactors across the planet. From the
No,
point
you
that-
wouldn't, because
Let me read this out to you then. A hydrogen bomb and an atomic bomb are both different types of weapons, but the two devices are very different from each other. In a nutshell, an atomic bomb is a fission device, while a hydrogen bomb uses fission to power a fusion reaction. I haven't got it backwards.
Like I said, the fission the atom bomb, the fission is the detonator of the fusion.
Yeah, but the cause is the fusion. I mean,
No,
It's a fusion reaction. It is. The reaction itself is fusion. That's what it's saying here. The reaction itself is fusion.
yeah, but it causes a fission reaction.
no, the fission caused the fusion.
Yeah. The fission causes the fusion reaction. The actual reaction itself is fusion. Okay, but it uses a fission power to cause a fusion reaction.
Right, they need to heat it up and cause high pressure. The only way we know to do it is with a fission reaction, which is easy to create.
Yeah, so he's right.
They are a two-stage weapon. The first stage, the primary stage, employs nuclear fission. That's what kickstarts the second stage, which is nuclear fusion. And the H-bombs are technically known as thermonuclear weapons. But yeah, it's a two-stage device, and nuclear fusion is used to kickstart nuclear fission kickstarts nuclear fusion. And that's why it's called thermonuclear, because it says here the temperature soars past approximately 100 million Kelvin. It creates way more heat than just a conventional, if you want to call it that, atomic bomb.
I got a demonstration of fusion. You open it up.
No, I think it's simply a more power efficient, because the difference between breaking the uranium to whatever it breaks, the amount of energy that is released is far less than the energy released by the one fusion in the fusion bomb.
The Stingray, what do you know about the topic fusion and clean energy? You there? You want to talk to us, Stingray? No, I tried again. There's the I got internet service with Spectrum. It's called over here, and they are working across the street. I went to the guy right before the show began. I said, like, "Hey guys, are you gonna be fucking with the internet over here in my house or what?" He said, like, "No, we got when we mess around with the actual like line for the whole neighborhood is when they bring the crane truck, but they got just the vents or whatever. They say we're just gonna install and do some tweaks around." So I say, all right, yeah, don't be messing with me, man. I'll be online doing my shit. I mean, it wasn't like that. It was actually, I go like, you guys gonna fuck with the internet in my house? He said like, now I will, now that you mention it. Where you live? Right here? I said, yeah. He said, now I will. I said, you motherfucker, I'm calling the company. He said, no, I'm messing with you. I said, I know you are. Don't fuck with me like that. He was cool. And all the guy with a mean face. I said, like, damn, did he really mean that? Some people is like that. If you like question them, they do something just to mess with you. This is Florida, man. That's how they do it.
I think that's Americans over the world, isn't it?
Yeah, that's Americans right there. The sarcasm. The sarcasm is fucking crazy, man. And you gotta know the approach of the sarcasm. The more serious that you see the person telling you something like that, and you go like, dude, that's so against the company, rules and shit. You have to know that it's sarcasm and it's joking.
I think with British people, sarcasm is a little bit more obvious.
Right.
We're known for our sarcasm. I think Farmers Boy might agree with me with that. But we make it much more obvious. It's like, no, never.
Yeah, well, we can do subtle sarcasm, but yeah, generally we don't.
yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. We can, but generally
we can, but we choose not to.
Yeah.
But
I think what it is like the British in general, we're kind of polite, and we're a little bit afraid of upsetting people in general. I mean, that's not the case with everybody, obviously, but so that's probably why we try and make our sarcasm a little bit more obvious. That then you're not going to be offended by what we're saying.
Yeah, we take sarcasm differently here in Ireland. It's like it's pretty much the go-to.
yeah. Same with the Irish. I live in Northern Ireland, so I know a lot of Irish people. So yeah.
Well, it's Nestle. Nestle, you in Ireland?
Yeah.
Are you Irish? You American?
I'm part Irish. Yeah.
And you live in Ireland?
Yeah.
When you drive or go around, is there any point in the road along the way that you smell a strong smell of piss? Is there any way along the path that you're going to and from? Is there a very strong smell of piss? Then there's where Piche lives, like right there.
What are you talking about?
Oh dear, good old Pissy Pete.
Pete Shea, he mess up with piss a lot. He drink it, he showers with it, and so
okay,
I guess
I don't know who Pissy Pete is.
So. Well, Pete Shea, his name, yeah. So he if you smell that, I don't know if you want to stop by, you will meet him. He's a one-legged Irish drunken piss drinking man.
You don't know of the dodo?
No, I don't want nobody want to know. Nobody
what
want
a
to know.
lucky man he is.
Nobody want to know about that. Nobody want to know. Oh man, that's messed up. Did you catch it, Farmers Boy? Yes, as soon as I started explaining the piss smell.
Yep. Can I just say for old time's sake, Aristarchus. Everybody drink.
Oh man.
Oh dear. Yeah. He's still around.
No, Pete Shea, yeah, he definitely is.
Yeah, he was in Gems earlier on because I was sort of in between jobs and I thought, hey, what's going on? And I looked in Gems there and I thought, je suis. No, thank you. No, I'll crack on.
And he goes to Geos a fair bit as well from time to time.
Yeah.
I'm gonna invite him one day just to come in here and say, hey, Piche, are you there? Yes, I am. I said, all I needed to tell you is you can go fuck yourself, go seek some mental health, and never approach me. I will never approach you again ever in my life. And that's it. I won't let him speak. That's probably what I'm gonna say to him.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Oh, can I go on?
No, go on, promise. Right.
I was going to do a public service announcement for Chaiki. It's Hossenfelder.
Or repeat it, Chaiki. Go on.
Sabine Hossenfelder.
Hossenfelder.
Yes.
Go on, repeat it, Chaiki. Go
on. There was actually a nice upload I watched earlier, and I enjoyed it. MC Tuned, who uploaded something of Witsit.
Oh yes, yes, he did that in his show the other night.
Yeah, right. Even though it's annoying, I mean, like listening to Witsit is annoying, but the way it's edited, it was a good job. Yeah, so I'm gonna.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm gonna pull it.
You go play it, are you?
Yep.
Yeah.
Shout out to MC Tune, and yeah, I think he'd be all right with me playing this.
Oh yeah, definitely. He would, yeah.
Yeah. All right, let me look it up. We got it right here. All right. Hope you guys are watching my screen share. This is a 2-minute video taken from MC Toon Live. I'm gonna leave a like. I already gave him a watch earlier. MC Toon Live. Shout out to you. This is Witsit and the Burden of Proof. Here we go.
That when you make a positive claim, you have what's called the burden of proof. You have to substantiate your claim with evidence.
All evidence has shown us that the Earth is stationary.
The burden of proof is on the one that makes the positive claim. In every debate, the burden of proof typically lies with the person making the claim, but it can also lie with the person denying a well-established fact or theory. There's a higher concentration of gas being introduced at the surface. This is the positive claim that has the burden of proof. When you make a positive claim, you have the burden of proof. It's geocentric. That means the center of everything. It's stationary, of course, meaning not moving. It's a geocentric stationary plane. The burden of proof is on the one making the positive claim.
That if the Earth is geocentric and stationary.
Did you guys know the Earth's not a spinning ball? It's actually flat and stationary, bro. The person making a positive claim has the burden of proof. Because there's constantly gas being introduced to the system. When you make a positive claim, you have the burden of proof. It's very simple. When you make a positive claim, you have the burden of proof. The Earth is stationary. They shift the burden of proof, which is a fallacy, and then they attack a straw man model, which is a fallacy. It's a closed dynamic system with gas constantly being introduced to the surface level. You make a positive claim of specificity, you have the burden of proof of specificity. And they use something called the stereocycle from the Chaldeans from 2500 BC to this day at NASA to be able to predict the eclipses. They cannot use the heliocentric model to predict eclipses at all. You do understand, again, that positive claims require the burden of proof. Hey, the Earth's a geocentric stationary plane. Positive claims have the burden of proof. Hey, the Earth's not a spinning ball, bro. It's a flat stationary plane. You have the burden of proof of specificity of your specific claim. So you can't shift the burden of proof. That's called a shifting the burden of proof fallacy. The Earth is a geocentric stationary plane. You make a positive claim, you have the burden of proof. Burden of proof always lies with the positive claim. When you make a positive claim, you have the burden of proof. Okay, so we have the burden of proof to show that the surface of the Earth is flat, because that is our positive claim. You have the burden of proof to substantiate all of those specific positive claims. Now you have gotten to where you are just basically diverting the burden of proof. You're shifting the burden of proof. That when you make a positive claim.
That is something, eh?
Isn't it just
something? What a character. Specificity.
Basically, everybody else but him has the burden of proof to back up their claims. He's quite free. He's allowed to sit there and say anything he likes, and he doesn't have the burden of proof. But everybody else does.
Do you know Sorry, go ahead.
He has an SD card full of proofs somewhere which he never finds and find the time to.
Yeah, funny that.
Do you remember the Crew 4 return to Earth a couple of months ago? Shortly after that, I went into Jem's Discord and Witsit was there. And of course, he said, it's all fake, it's all a fantasy. Yeah. And of course, I said to him, okay. I said, well, okay, have you got any evidence for that? And guess what he said to me? Can you prove it isn't?
Can you prove it is? You can't sit there and claim it and then go,
Yeah, I was like exactly said to him. He's a hypocrite. You know, he shifts the burden of proof all the time. He does it himself all the time. And that's exactly what he did to me. He shifted the burden of proof. He made the claim. I didn't make any claim at that point. In fact, I don't think they'd even spoken to him before that point, ever. But according to him, I'm making a claim. But no, you made the claim. I haven't made any claim. And of course, I got him to actually reverse himself. And he says, well, he doesn't know whether it's fake or not. It's just an opinion.
Just announcement. I just put an image of Dimok in the background as we speak about Witsit.
So basically, you asked him for proof. So he created a straw man, like you said it's not. It is real, and then shifted the burden of proof to you. Just what you said.
Yep. Exactly that. Yeah. You said, can you prove that it's not fake? That's what you said to me. And at that point, I hadn't spoken. I had never spoken to him before in my life, and that was the first point that I'd even spoken in that Discord to that point. But apparently, I'm the one that needs to prove that it isn't disprove his claim. In other words.
Well, yeah, don't expect him to offer any evidence because he knows as well as we do. He ain't got any.
He's the biggest hypocrite going. Exactly what MC Tune, I think, was just trying to point out there.
I don't know if it is the biggest. I don't know. There several claiming for the title.
Yeah.
You've got a hypocrite to flirt.
Yep, you got to lie to flirt.
Not quite as catchy as you got to lie to flirt, but
No.
it holds true.
The difference of what Witsit was doing in this clip, for example, right? I mean, in actually every single conversation, he make a lot of positive claims, but then he flip it so we can prove him wrong. So we can prove him wrong. So we can prove our point. But what I was trying to do yesterday is to make negative claims, to just not believe what you're telling me. If you gotta, like, you're not making a claim, but I'm making a claim for you. Like, the earth doesn't have curvature. If you say yes, then you gotta prove it. That was kind of my approach, a slightly different twist.
No, that's fine. If I say the earth curve, then I support myself with evidence. No problem.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. Exactly. That's the go-to now. What I would do in the case, I'll try to go first to make the claim that it doesn't have curve. So if you want to defend your point, then you have to prove it. I say Earth doesn't have any curve, and I prove you any way you want. I can turn my live camera on. I can take pictures around. I can Google a bunch of like horizon and landscapes, and I can show you that there's no curvature. I can show you that. Then if you say there is, then you got to prove it and approach your point. This is just a tactic. Kind of a silly one, but it does work. You can dance around it for hours, for days, if you want to. Now, unless you go first. Oh, Earth is a sphere, and there's curvature to the air. I'm going to show you curvature. I say, all right, yeah, let's see, because there's no curvature, then I'm making the opposite claim to you. And if you show me these pictures and photos of curvature, I guess, I'm on a loss. Either present counter evidence or deny it. Boldly deny it in your face. So will you go first then in a debate and make your positive claims, Shaik, then?
No, I don't make claims. Right? Level is not horizontal. I can prove that.
How can you prove that?
Simple with the tool.
What tool?
As paper organists like to say, we see it.
But like a screwdriver, a hammer? Like a hammer or a screwdriver?
No.
That tool?
A tool that creates a horizontal.
Oh. But it's not a physical horizontal, right? It's an optical horizontal.
An optical is not physical. Einstein, I think, proved that won a Nobel Prize for proving that optical is physical.
Lies. Don't forget trigonometry. You didn't mention trigonometry, therefore debunked.
That's advanced. Trigonometry is advanced.
I win. Honey, you're done.
Oh dear.
I gotta be positive on my winning claim. M. Stone says that's a real debate. You actually make arguments for both sides. Then the moderator flips a coin and your team is pro or against. Now show me, give me evidence of one or two debates related to the topics that we talk about had that structure have happened. Go ahead. I'll wait, M. Stone. I haven't seen that format used. That might be a real debate. Therefore, hasn't been any real debate in this corner of the YouTube universe. Maybe I missed it. I don't watch a lot of debates, but I don't think I've seen that format implemented. I'm using a lot of fancy words, man. Getting better.
Yeah. Well, there was this big debate
That great debate, right?
The great debate, yes. And in the middle of the debate, Bev backed up and said, "No, I wasn't here to debate. I just wanted to show my argument." And then 2 days later, he calls it a debate again.
Yeah, funny that.
I think the best structure for a debate, off the top of my head, is moderator. Welcome everybody. We got 2 guesses over here. This guest is representing this. This guest is representing that. We're gonna flip a coin. Who wanna go first? Are you guys agreeing with who go first? You make your opening statement. I give you 5 minutes. Let's say 5 minutes opening statement. Both sides. You can just introduce yourself, maybe present, your point, and then the other person do the same. Then now, either if you both agree on who wants to start, if both want to start, then we'll do a coin flip. All right, you're gonna start and you're gonna make a 2-minute statement. Maybe make a claim and back it up and present evidence. The other person make a claim and present evidence. Then we do at least 3 rounds like that. You make your claim, you present your evidence, and then the second round will be rebut to the points that have been presented. Then the person is going to rebut the claims that the other person did. The other person did 3 claims and presented the evidence. Then you got your 2 minutes to rebut the point. And then we go to the other person to rebut the points of this one. We can do a round like that. And then we can have maybe a half an hour open back and forth, like discussion. After the half an hour discussion, by time, then we do closing statements. 5 minutes for you, 5 minutes for your final thoughts. I mean, just making it up, it sounds good. It could work if both were team players, both players, And I'm gonna write that down. We're gonna try to do that one day. I'll try to practice it and make it. I'm gonna test it myself. I'm gonna be my first ever debate. It's gonna be flip flop.
What will be your positive claim?
It's gonna be 3 points from flip flop. Men never landed on the moon. The other one, nobody knows what is the sun, the moon, and the stars are made of. And another point is, I don't know. I'll pull something off my ass, Something like that, like points like that,
I'd take that debate, Jose.
You'll take a Stingray. We can do a practice test one day. All right, we'll do that. I mean, yesterday was my approach. It's something simple, silly, and it's going to be frustrating for you and for myself to try to do it.
After your last 2 points there, which are actually utter bullshit and actually mean nothing, I'll take that debate. That's cool.
Very nice.
I don't know how the chemical reaction, the details of a chemical reaction of how my fucking gas burner works and creates heat, but I still cook on it.
Well, that's why I use the analogy for the internal combustion engine. And we know what goes on inside it, but I can't get inside it to see it happening.
No, but we have clues. We see smoke coming out. We see water coming out.
And my car works, right?
Wait a minute. If you see water coming out, you got a problem then.
No, you don't.
If you're on about condensation from the tailpipe, then fine. But anywhere else, you're in trouble.
Well, of course, it's condensation on the exhaust pipe.
Yeah, but that's not something that happened inside the engine. The engine
Yes,
doesn't.
It does. The water vapor coming from the engine.
Where does that water
See
vapor?
what happens when you oxidize the fuel.
Where does the water
Part
vapor?
of it is hydrogen, and it comes out as water.
So where does it produce the water?
What happened when you breathe? You think? When you breathe, when you oxidizing, what do you think happened?
Oh, I have no idea.
Well, you create water.
But it's not liquid water; it's vapor, though, isn't it?
No, inside you it's liquid. You don't want vapor water inside. Inside you, there's electron pump that pump out protons, and the protons come back, and because of the you should read about it. Because the potential barrier, they coming back in, and they join two O's and become water. Need to take the shit out somehow. Look up the cell respiration, or even don't need to look all of it. How is it called?
I'm fairly sure that it's caused by the reaction that the catalytic converter is responsible for. Pretty sure.
No.
My car will put moisture out the back, and it hasn't got a catalytic converter.
Everything that you guys are talking about that you really don't understand and couldn't build it, couldn't create it yourself, don't really understand how it works, but you still use the tools and the gadgets and the equipment. You're still talking about something physical that you can physically touch, reach, and use over here on Earth, versus something like the sun and the stars and the planets.
Oh my God! Does that mean I've got to turn off my solar panels?
No, the solar panels are on Earth, right here. You're just receiving whatever energy it is, but that doesn't tell you what the sun is and what it's made of.
So basically, I'm receiving energy from this object that is apparently in the sky, correct?
Yes. It definitely is.
So there's an object.
It definitely is.
Yeah. So there's an object in the sky giving off energy. On that we can agree, right?
Yes.
Awesome. Now, do you think there's a way you and I could figure out where that object is?
Yeah, up in the sky, very far away.
No, but I mean its approximate location.
I mean, in the sky, yeah, up very far away. It's not a location because it always in different locations, related in relation to us. So it's not in one location. It's where you at. You will never find it after 1 minute in the specific location. It's going to be moving always.
Yeah, but we can agree that if in one moment in time, while I'm talking to you, if we can see the same object in the sky and we photograph it, it is the same object, right?
Yes. I'm pretty confident it is.
Awesome. So if we took a bearing to that object and an elevation, and we can plot where it is, could we use triangulation to figure out the distance?
Yes.
Awesome. And when that comes back as a very, very weird result and says, actually, it's not in the correct position when we calculate it on a flat Earth, but it is when we do it on a globe. It's almost a parallel vector. That'd be weird, right?
I agree with you. It wouldn't be weird at all, because
so we can use the sun to prove the shape of the planet.
Yeah, that's not my contention. My contention is, what is the sun? What is it made of? Nobody knows. Nobody will ever know unless you go there.
So can we determine the composition of things via reading? Let's say I've got a hyperspectral camera which can photograph in a lot more than just visible light. Do you think I could determine that something is iron? Do you think I could determine that something is helium?
I think you'll be pretty accurate, up to probably 90%, if you're doing the observations on the Earth, in our atmosphere. Once you cross that path of having less amount of air and having a lot of unknowns on what the matter in between you and it that you're trying to measure is going to be a lot of presuppositions. But if you presuppose that it's just the same thing that you measure on Earth, you're measuring very far away, then you can make a guess on what the surface of that object is. The surface, not deeper than that.
Actually, it's more accurate outside the atmosphere than inside the atmosphere.
That's the positive claim that you have to test now. And how can you test it unless we go in a just around and around and around argument? You say because we have tested it, because we have done this. You can go around and around in circles, but you wouldn't be able to test it. Stingray point. Lubo, you're obfuscating. Let Stingray finish the point. Then you go.
You asked a question there. How can we prove something like that? And you can't prove it. You can gather supporting evidence that it is probabilistically true, that if we get outside the atmosphere, we can get a lot better reading. And the way that you can do that is you could use the same hyperspectral camera and point it at gold. And in between the lens and the gold, shove a sheet of lead. Will you detect the gold? No. Okay. So what about water? Well, now we're detecting O2 with traces of what could possibly be gold, and now we just do it through the air and we get a clean reading of gold. So we can determine that the less dense the medium is to do anything to the light and the composition of whatever density medium that is. Once we take that away, we get a lot more accurate reading. And now the only thing we need to agree on is that when you go higher, there is less stuff.
Yes, there is, as far as humans and technology have reached, but it hasn't reached as far as the object you're trying to measure. What is in there that you are so sure? How are you so sure that there's nothing in there a few kilometers away from that object as some type of a quote unquote atmosphere or something that is going to give you a different reading for what it actually is? Like if you don't do the opposite, if you are a million miles away with a rocket and you point that spectroscopy and you try to measure something on Earth, has that been done? Measure something on Earth from very high up so it gives you an accurate measurement. So you're going from space to breaking through our atmosphere and measuring something in the ground level down here. Yes. Have that been done?
Yeah,
CO2.
We have multiple optic devices on many satellites that do exactly that.
There's the gravimetric satellites out there too. They measure gravity even under the space.
I mean, literally, but I haven't seen any of that done. Like something spectroscopy opposite, like measuring stuff on the Earth from very high up.
Yeah, that's how. I mean, you can. I mean, just I forget which.
Look at Himawari.
Now there's a weather there's a multispectrum weather satellite, predominantly over Asia. I forgot what it's called.
Yeah, Himawari measures like
there you go.
spectrums.
So, yeah, that's got about 9 sensors on it or something to do exactly that, Jose.
And it's very well known what the atmosphere of the Earth is, the behavior, and what we see right through our atmosphere.
Not the chemical makeup and its distribution through the currents on the surface. No, it is now, but not before then. No.
Basically, anything that is radioactive, we can detect very, very easily because those particles are. We can detect them once, like I don't know, per billion. I don't know. Like if there is some explosion, radioactive explosion on Earth, on the other side of the Earth, they will know about it because the particles will show up. But
so how do we...
the heavy elements, there are the heavy elements that we can actually detect. And other thing with the lighter elements, where once a time, some of the heavy elements also escape the sun atmosphere.
So,
for example,
you're very slow and a little bit boring, Lubo. If you want to make it more exciting, make it shorter and quicker. The points, man. I'm sorry.
Okay, like James Webb Space Telescope also has like 17 different light frequencies that can do the spectrometry and measure the stars, measures the atmosphere of the planets that orbit the stars.
So I think, I mean, and you guys here know that I'm more of a visual guy, and I'm just, I'm illiterate, right? So I want this spectroscopy machine, right? I'm just trying to illustrate it, whatever, like a funny alien gun, right? This spectroscopy machine has in it built where you can measure, let's say, the whole periodic table on things, so you can capture the essence of those specific items. Now, if there is, and there might be, extra elements that we are unaware of, extra magical pixie dust and fancy unicorn fart gases and all kinds of shit that we really don't know. If that spectroscopy is pointing at something and giving you a specific measurement, it's not measuring for the extra components and elements that might be there that you will never know because you have never physically reached that point and passed that point to be hit with the magical of the wall of pixie dust. Stingray, go ahead.
Honestly, if pixies exist and unicorns exist and dragons exist and wizards exist and everything's magical, then we're all just fucking dumb and, you know, we need to join the fantasy land.
No, we have a very good idea with what we have, but we don't have everything, right?
Well, the heavy elements we may not know. The light elements we know because it's everything about the number of the protons and electrons and neutrons in the core. It's more what we don't know. It's like the physical properties of the certain elements when they are under huge pressure or the temperatures, because that's really hard to simulate. I mean, we have some experiments, but they're all with like a hydrogen and helium elements. We can't really do like the heavier elements under a lot of pressure. For example, if you go to Jupiter, there is a heavy hydrogen. There is very what's it called? Superconductive, and that's what actually creates the whole magnetosphere of Jupiter.
I want to ask a question. How do we account? Is this spectroscopy accounts for the dark matter that is in between? Is the composition of whatever 95% of the known universe looking across things?
Cannot.
Okay. So we really don't know 95% of what's in between us and other objects and things, like what the composition of things are. It's actually don't know.
We don't really know that there is something.
Right? We don't even know if there's something.
Some evidence shows there is, some that is.
So it's still a speculation, right? Everything we know about what's in between us and the sun?
Yeah, it's a field that is currently studied.
Stinger, you concur that we still don't know what the composition of the sun is?
Oh, no. We mainly know. At least what's on the surface.
I can concur that, yeah, and it might be true what's on the surface, but what's underneath of the sun, what's underneath. By that I mean feet, miles, kilometers away, inside, deep inside it. Never know.
Yeah, but we have idea what happens there because
exactly, ideas are good.
Because we get we know it emits neutrinos, and we know what causes neutrinos to be created.
On Earth, assimilating that the behavior of things on Earth are the same the behaviors of things on the sun.
Yeah, that's a main assumption of science. That physics is the same everywhere.
What is this unobtainium on the sun?
We probably would see it.
Can you obtain it? If there's unobtainium?
Good question.
Shout out to everybody, man. That's Flip Flop right there in the house. I like him a lot. He annoys me very much. Guys, I opened the PayPal and nobody have given me any love. I'm just saying over here in the chat box. Let me see who do I see here to put in this. Tres Magistus. Give me some PayPal money, man, and Torque KC. There's a link pin in the chat box over there. The luminaries. They are luminaries. Stingray gave up. He said, like, yeah, I ain't here for this shit. Not today. We're not ready for that. We're just doing the test run. So what I can say is, no, nobody knows. Nobody have been there, and I'm still stating facts. I mean, stating the facts that nobody have been there. Nobody have physically reached that area away from the Earth. That's a fact.
Well, at least we know the weight, the mass of that. We know the mass of the sun.
Oh man, you're taking a big leap there of faith. I don't know how you're gonna measure that. What kind of scale did you use to put the sun on? Go ahead. I'll mute myself. I'll let you speak.
It's a gravitational equation. You just need mass of Earth and the speed of Earth around the sun, the orbit of Earth, and you get the mass of sun. I will try to find the equation for you and send the link to you.
Why am I gonna do with a bunch of numbers to tell me what something weight? You have to physically weigh it. That's the only way.
No, you don't.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
And mass is not weight. Okay.
Mass is not weight.
Definitely not.
What is the difference between mass and weight?
One is a force, the other isn't.
So if I'm a massive man weighing 190 pounds, I cannot have a force. I cannot create a force.
No, if you're a massive man on Earth, you'll create a greater force from a non-massive man. Yeah, on Earth.
Mm.
But if you're a massive man on the moon, you may create less force than a non-massive man creates on Earth.
Tinkerfield, you there? You want to do a quick summary on, in layman's terms, so like explain it like I'm 5. What's the difference between mass and weight?
Sorry, I'm on another call. Sorry, I can't right now.
Okay.
I explained it to my child once, and I said how much the difference between mass and weight. Mass is how much stuff is in one single object, and weight is, I can't remember how I described it as that.
It is hard if you can.
It's a bit vague. What does it mean? How much stuff?
Well, I was explaining it to a 10-year-old. So yeah.
So if you can explain it, then I guess you understand it.
To a degree, yeah.
To a degree, yeah. You understand it to a degree if you can explain it. If you cannot explain it, I guess you don't understand what you're talking about. Shaik, what's the difference between mass and weight again? You say something about
mass is a property of matter and also a measurement of its resistance to change in velocity. And actually there's two kind of masses. There's inertial mass and there is gravitational mass, which just happen to be the same. And weight is the force created by the force created between two massive objects. Due to the, how do they say, the uneven distribution of mass and bending of space-time.
Okay. I guess.
Does that mean a pair floating in space, the top of it weighs more than the bottom.
So when somebody say, I know the mass of X object, he's not saying the weight. He's saying the mass as for volume?
The mass is its resistance to change in velocity. No direction. It's the same.
Mass is basically how much stuff is inside of something.
Stuff.
So all the
What
atoms,
stuff?
atoms, electrons, neutrons, all everything.
Really?
How much of everything is?
Actually, most of the mass of the matter is from the binding forces and not the particles they made of.
Well, I'm not really perfect in.
If you take the mass of two quarks, of 3 quarks and electron, it wouldn't add up for a mass of hydrogen atom.
Bollocks to this.
It would be much less.
Shout out to Farmer's Boy. Farmer's, where do you go, man? What the hell? Sorry.
Yeah, I posted the Kepler's equation, and actually, the good thing on that, you even don't need to know the mass of the Earth to know the mass of the Sun. From the equation, you just take the radius of orbit and the time it takes to orbit around the Sun. You get the mass of the Sun. That's how we know the masses of the stars too, and the galaxies, because they orbit and.
Shout out.
We know their orbit.
You want to do a shout out, Shaik?
To Cavendish, yes. All this wouldn't be possible without the big G.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you want to shout out Farmer's Boy? He left, Shaik.
We can do a shout out for Farmer's Boy. Huh?
I guess you annoyed him more than Flip Flop today. For some reason, yeah.
How do you know it's me and not Flip Flop?
Well, today, 3 minutes ago, in Discord server, Farmer's Boy dropped and he typed, and I quote, "I'm really not in a Shaik mood tonight."
Well, since he said it, I'm never in Farmer's Boy's mood, but I don't like it.
Ouch. Let me see what Stingray is sharing over here. Hold on. Stingray, gonna share your camera. I don't know what you got. Oh, he got a 3D apparatus running again. 3D printer apparatus. So we agreed that you cannot put a pancake mixture into the 3D printing machine.
No, we didn't agree on that. No, you're assigning me a position, and I didn't take that position. You can put anything you want into a 3D printer and try and force it through the nozzle. Whether it will work or produce any beneficial result is another matter.
All right.
There are chocolate printers, though.
Or you'll need another nozzle and another settings.
Yeah, so this is at the moment. This is just for an indoor security camera. I'll print a few of these out. This to take a PTZ dome camera for wall mounting, and then there's a little bit to the right hand side which is the bayonet fitting, which I decided to print as a separate piece so I can glue it to it.
I got a 2-part question. What would be better? By better, I mean there are 2 categories. Faster is one category and more accurate is the second category. Which one would be better? A human building something or a 3D printer building something? This type of 3D printer that you have, not the more advanced, the more faster, not the cheaper one. This one that you have versus a human building a part for something. Which one would be better?
Well, I don't know. To do this, you'd have to have an injection. You'd have to create a mold and then have an injection process. I suppose you could do a vacuum mold, but you need a couple of them and join them together. So, yeah, no, the printer is 3D printer is the easiest solution for something like this.
All right. Yeah, I watch.
Nobody makes these anyway, so I have to make them. So that's an easy answer.
Like I have watched videos of people, let's say in India, and they got these shops to repair, to make parts for cars, little parts that break in cars and for the tires and all this shit. And they actually make it, and they make molds, and they put, the materials together, and they, just clamp it, and they do it like physically by hand. Is it faster? I'm not sure, because they might take him 3 hours to make the part, but it might take the printer 4 hours to make the part. Now, if the printer make the part, will it be specific and more accurate? 100%. Over whatever a human make a mold by hand, and shit like that, I guess.
Well, again, it's less. It depends on the manufacturing process. A human being cannot lay down like 0.2 millimeter layers of plastic. They can, but we use other methods. So we'd use injection molding in a vacuum process as well. So you'd actually get a more accurate, better result, a human being doing it, and it'd be a more finished and polished result. You've got a lot more material options as well. But then the cost skyrockets as well. This thing's going to cost me about 10 pence in electricity and about 4 pence of materials. Whereas probably to buy this, if someone released a product using those methods, I'd be looking at about 19 pounds or something. $19, $20, $23, something like that.
If it's made in China, it costs you $50 plus shipping.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if I get it from Alibaba or AliExpress, then maybe. But the point is, even if it was $8 or $10, the camera that this is for, you can get for 35, so about $40. It's really not worth paying almost half the price of the camera for a mount.
Yeah, in my opinion, I feel like the quality that I get off my printers is better than normally what you get off something like AliExpress or even Amazon a lot of times.
Look, Stingray, really quick. I don't know if you can see it, but you can see the Daily Boom on sensor, or maybe the screen share quickly. There's a Pancake Bot 2.0. Enjoy the future of food with Pancake Bot.
Yeah, that's fine. I've got a much better Pancake Bot than that. It's called my girlfriend.
Oh, but then can she draw peace signs on the pancakes? Can she make designs?
Yes.
Okay. Just asking.
One of the bosses I used to have, he says, my wife don't need a dishwasher. She has me.
Bob the Science Guy is here. Bob, you've been sitting in there for a minute. What's up? You want to say hello to the audience?
Hello.
Hello. I got a question, maybe a point of contingent over here, Bob. We, as for humans today, in the future that we live in the 2020s, we might have a very accurate idea on what the surface of the sun is, what the measurements are that we're getting, but nobody knows what's deeper down inside the sun, like in the core or in the center, or the composition of the actual sun. Your thoughts on that statement?
Don't they?
They don't, yeah. Unfortunately.
Well, sounds like a project for my children then.
Are you going to send them to the sun? You're going to build a rocket to send them over there? Or they're going to become astronauts and go with a big agency?
I don't need to send them anywhere. I taught my kids to be able to use technology.
Okay, so they're going to remote control fly something to the sun and dig and drill into it to know it.
No, maybe you can make a sun X-ray.
Maybe you can make a small sun and put it in a vase in a cup. Yeah.
No, sun X-ray. X-ray.
Well, in light of the fact they had successful fusion, that may be a possibility in the future. You never know.
I watched that. Yeah. In the second half of the century, they might be able to build a small sun type of thing and put it in a bucket. I love it.
Now, if we can just make a small body that has gravitational force that's immune to the gravity of the Earth, we'll actually put these flat earthers to rest.
There you go. But I insist, Bob, nobody knows what's in the center of the sun. It's the good speculations, it's a good guesses and mathematical equations to know all of that. But physically, nobody will know until it gets until somebody or something get physically there. I mean, I have to commit to that statement.
Physical observation is not a requirement of science. You don't have to personally, physically observe everything. I didn't have to reinvent fire when I was learning how to camp. I relied on other people that were able to do that.
And here goes the false analogy, Bob. When you are comparing something that you can physically do on Earth versus something that is out of our reach.
No, I'm just simply saying it's not a requirement of science. So if it's a requirement for you, God bless you, man.
But I'm talking about reality. I ain't even talking about science. I'm talking about reality. Nobody will know.
It's not a requirement of reality either.
I'm talking about nobody will know what the sun is made of until somebody get there. What the composition of the sun is.
We don't need to do it though. All we need is good warrant to understand, to support our understanding of it.
It's a good guess and good presupposition, a good story, but no. It's okay.
Yeah, but there's a thing called warrant, Jose, and that is, do I have good reason to believe something? And I have very good reason to believe things that I can't physically touch myself.
I have to. I mean, I got no other choice but to believe it. Does it make it real? No, it doesn't.
But as long as you have good reason to believe it.
No, I don't have a good reason. The only reason I have to believe is because there's no other alternative to. There's no explanation until it gets done. I have to believe it until something physically gets there and tested.
Well, if that's your standard, Jose.
Yeah, for real. I mean, I have to accept it. What else can I do? See.
I agree that nobody knows exactly what's going inside the sun, right?
Yep.
We don't know everything, but we have a good idea what it's made of and what's take place in its core.
We have warrant. That's all we need. So, if you have an alternative theory, Jose, go for it, man. Go for it. Give us warrant to believe your theory rather than the one that we have now.
I don't have one.
Okay, well. There you go.
A question about the sun, the solar corona. What is the solar corona? Is those like big waves, like the arms, like fiery arms of the sun? Is that the solar corona?
No. Corona is extending much further. We'll be talking the solar flares.
How far the solar corona from the actual surface of the sun is?
Ooh, somebody said like twice the distance, diameter of the sun. I don't know.
Quite a ways. Quite a ways.
Right. So we're happy to know that the Parker Solar Probe passed through the solar corona. So that's the closest. That's the closest that anybody or anything has been on the sun physically.
Yeah.
Did it already pass there?
Yeah. Don Giovanni just said that.
Or is it going to?
Say passed through the solar corona, he say.
He's got a big shield to protect it from the rays, but yeah, it was quite. NASA posted video of that passing.
So it's like Earth will be a forbidden planet. It will be something else, and we send a couple spaceships over there and rockets and probes, and they're orbiting the Earth 1,000 miles away from the Earth, and they're just doing all these readings of the surface of the Earth. They cannot tell what's in the core of the center of the Earth, what the material of what the dirt is made of. I don't think they can with devices flying around 1,000 miles away, and that's giving you a lot closer than anything else is actually around on sun and the moon and the planets and the stars. Not the moon, but the sun and the planets and the stars.
Well, Earth is much better understood because we have plenty earthquakes, and they show it's like a magnetos. What's it called? Where they have the babies when they see the babies inside of the mother's womb. What's it called? Yeah. So it's the same principle for Earth. For the sun, it's much more difficult because we can observe the pressure waves going through the sun, but we cannot really have it physically over there. Yeah, as you said, some things science will never know, like what exactly inside. We may have idea what's there, but we may not exactly know. It's the same like when we talk about Big Bang, what was before the Big Bang, we will never know. Science will never know. We can just guess.
A sonogram for the mountain valley, right? So let's say I once made this argument, and somebody got so mad about it because I said, all right, so when they measure the P and S waves and the earthquakes, and they got these tools to measure, it's something like a sonogram. Let's say I got a sonogram is something small for personal use to measure what's inside a person. So is this tools like a big sonogram? So we're scaling something small and we're scaling it up really big to measure something a lot bigger. Is that fair?
Yeah, similar. Yeah.
Similar. Yeah, not exactly, but similar, right?
Well, pressure waves.
So we can say that we can scale things. We can a small tool to measure something small. If you make it a lot bigger, it will measure something bigger. It's fair. It's a fair point. The first statement. So therefore, I'm going to make an argument of scale that I can measure something small and I can scale it up really big. I can measure a plate with water, a bowl with water, a container with water, a bucket with water in here, and I can measure it, and it got a little bit of water tension in the just around the edges, and the rest of the water, you can measure it is flat, perfectly flat. Now we're going to expand that, and we're going to scale it up. Therefore, the oceans, all the oceans of the Earth, they might have a little bit of a tension and in the edges, but then the rest is absolutely flat. Go ahead.
No, that's different.
No, why different? Can you scale a tool to measure something from small to big? Yes. Can I measure something for go to small to big? Yes. A cup of water versus the surface of the Earth. Everything is flat. Why is different?
Did you measure the cup to be flat?
Yeah, I mean it's easier with the bigger scales actually than the smaller scales, I think. I'm not sure about this. I just guess.
Well,
because
you're right.
Earth, how we get the inside of the Earth, as you say, the scale. What we need is a bigger source of the pressure, and like earthquake creates these pressure waves. Also, humans are famous for creating blasts all over the Earth, and they're also getting registered. They're more precise because we know the exact wave of the blast, so it's easy to compare. With the sun, there are also blasts inside, but we can only observe it visually. We cannot measure it physically with the things inside.
Sorry, I zoned out after 5 seconds. It's true, bro. I'm sorry, it's true. I'm such an asshole, but it's true, bro.
Well, yeah. I went to countryside to see the meteor showers, but the moon is too bright right now. Cannot really see many of them.
Meteor shower today, visible from your area.
Geminids all over the world. I mean, north hemisphere mostly. So if you go out tonight, you may see meteors. Just a shower. It's not like the.
What direction? What direction?
Geminids.
Tell me direction.
Well, yeah, we don't know that.
North.
South. East.
Oh, north. It's from northeast to depends which part of the night are you looking at. But if you know Orion, you just
I'm
follow.
12 p.m.
Sorry?
12 a.m. almost.
So if I go today out and record and keep recording the moon for minutes and minutes and minutes, I might see a little going past through.
Maybe, yeah. But the moon is too bright. It's better to go before the moon comes out. Just before the moon comes out, you should see more than
Set
after
up my
the moon.
camera there and just record in an empty space. I might see something.
Yeah, go to dark place. And when
I
you know,
can't,
funny
but-
thing about yeah, that's right. You live in the.
But I can zoom in a little bit, and I can put a couple stars in the viewfinder that I can, you know, at least like you know, get it focused.
Zoom. You zoom doesn't. Yeah, I mean, you need to focus the camera on the stars, but the best way is to zoom out as far as you can. The wide lenses should take the most.
Okay.
And fast lenses. You must have a fast lenses. Yeah, maybe I see a few bright ones. The funny thing about spectroscopy, you know, by the color of the meteor, you can actually distinguish what kind of meteorite is it. Like if some of the meteors, they may be bright red, some of them bright white. Like this meteor Geminis, they are quite bright white because they are not coming from the comet. They come from the asteroid, and that's a metal, that's iron-rich meteor asteroid that goes too close to sun, actually, talking about the sun. So its particles penetrate Earth's atmosphere. When they do that, they shine bright white, because that's what iron particles do. But if you go, for example, with the summer Perseid shower, they may be bright green or almost orange, depending what part of the atmosphere they are hitting right now.
I think I think it's the mosquitoes. I got 2 mosquitoes just fucking around with me every time that you speak, bro, and I just so annoyed. Just looking around, just thinking, why the fuck they bugging me, man?
Yeah, I'm very boring.
No, you're not. You're all right, man. I'm picking on you. I'm just being an asshole.
No, I'm lying in the bed looking at the stuff. You know, I had to drive 2 hours to get to dark location, and that's annoying because the light pollution is so horrible all around the cities.
If you need to drive to dark place to see meteor shower, it's not worth it.
Well,
I
also set up my telescope, so I at the same time I watch the stars.
If it's not lighting the sky bright, it's garbage.
Hold on, guys. I got there's a text on screen. I don't have my glasses on, and the letters are too small. But I want to know what Stingray is got going on over here. I'm interested, Stingray.
So I'm simply asking ChatGPT about flat Earth, and it agrees. Flat Earthers are fucking ridiculous.
What is it? Some the trend type of thing on a site or something? What is it?
So
That's an AI,
yeah,
which is actually pretty sophisticated. I asked it to write some scripts for me the other day. I was pretty impressed with what it gave me.
So what you got, Stingray? Did you just created this or what?
No. So I just asked it, how do we know the Earth is a sphere? It said there are several ways to know that the Earth is a sphere. One way is to look at the way the Earth casts a shadow on the moon during a lunar eclipse. The shadow is always curved, which is consistent with the Earth being a sphere. Another way is to look at the way the Earth appears from space. Astronauts and satellites have taken pictures of Earth from space, and these pictures clearly show the Earth is a sphere. Additionally, the Earth's round shape can be observed by looking at how it interacts with other celestial bodies, such as how it orbits the sun. And it goes on, and I said, well, what evidence is there for the Earth? What is the evidence that the Earth could be flat? ? And it said, There is no evidence the Earth is flat. The idea that the Earth is flat has been debunked by numerous observations and experiments, such as those mentioned above. It is now well established among scientists the Earth is a sphere. The belief that the Earth is flat is not supported by scientific evidence, and it has been debunked by many centuries of scientific observation and experimentation. And then my follow-up question was, why do flat earthers exist? And it says, despite overwhelming scientific evidence that the Earth is a sphere, some people still believe it is flat. There are several reasons why this might be the case. Some people may hold a belief because it is in part, wait a minute, some people might hold that belief because it is part of their cultural or religious beliefs. Others may be skeptical of scientific evidence and may prefer to believe in the alternative explanations for the observations that support the spherical Earth. I think basically it's just saying, people are just batshit crazy.
So who wrote this? This
is written by a consortium of people under OpenAI, and you can ask it to do anything. You could ask it quite literally, what's the best way to cook an egg, and it will tell you. But ask it anything you want, and it'll just tell you.
And this is artificial intelligence doing this, it's not an actual human typing the answer.
No.
And everyone will agree this is the best way to cook an egg?
Well, right?
Yeah,
the thing
is like regurgitating things you read on Google or something.
You want to share a link for that? Is that a pay site, Stingray?
You have to register and you have to put in your phone number, and it's just openai.com, and it's ChatGPT, which is GPT refers to the actual AI architecture model that's behind it all.
Okay.
Do you think flat earthers can train the AI to answer by their own standards?
I'm going to ask it a flat Earth observation question. Here we go. Once it's done giving me the egg answer, Jesus Christ, I'm not going to follow all this.
OpenAI, yeah. Cool.
Could you ask OpenAI if the AI can be trained to spread misinformation?
Ooh, that's a great question. Can you spread it how do you say, by air? What are the two kinds, right, of spreading that? One is physical. Can you spread it physically? And the other one will be air. This is a way to say it. Airborne. Can misinformation be spread airborne, right? That's the way. I like that. So it depends how you type. It will take him a few seconds to answer.
Yes. Well, maybe not a few seconds. Maybe, a fraction of a second or 1 second.
Wow.
Can you ask if it knows Witsit?
Wait, but he's still on the previous question. The shadow of a straight edge ruler will look curved on a ball. Therefore, because we see a shadow on the moon curved doesn't mean that the Earth is curved. It could be actually the flat Earth's shadow on the moon, or it could be something else. Is that fair, Stingray? If there's a curved surface and I want to cast a shadow, I just put a straight ruler and the light against it, and the straight ruler would cast a curved shadow on a ball. Debunked. The claim about the eclipse, the Earth curve, debunked. Anybody?
No, it's not possible.
It's not possible. If I got a big exercise ball and I got the light and I put a straight ruler in between the light and the moon, it's not going to cast a curved shadow, the straight ruler.
Why would it?
It would. You know that, right?
No, you know it wouldn't.
You know, it wouldn't cast a curved shadow. Everybody agree with that, or you guys disagree with? Anybody disagree with it?
Sorry, I was reading the answer to what I just asked. What did he say?
If I got a big ball, exercise ball, and I got and I put a straight edge, straight ruler, is that gonna cast a curved shadow on the moon in the ball? Yes or no? The answer is yes.
Well, it depends what you mean by. You'd have to define curved shadow.
Well, it will look curved to our eyes.
So if you're on about the shadow that's cast on the surface, then that's true. Yes. If you're on about the volume and the casting, as in the projection of the shadow, then that is false.
It will look curved.
On the surface, it would look curved, yes.
Exactly. Just like we see in the moon and we see a curved shadow, it doesn't have to be because the Earth is curved.
No.
It could be square, it could be triangular, it could be rectangular, it could have a straight edge casting a shadow, and it will look curved.
Unless we are looking from the same angle as the light source, it will be straight.
No, the ruler.
If the ruler, if you cast shadow on the globe, on the curved surface, and you are looking at the shadow from the same angle as the light source, it will look straight.
Did the artificial intelligence give Flat Earth a calculation? How dare them? They don't do calculations, right, Stingray? The AI?
No, sorry?
The AI doesn't give calculations as answers, right?
Well, you can give anything you want.
It can. Oh, shit. Gary, speak up, man. Typing takes more of your time. Typing will take more of your time than actually speaking. Speak up, Gary. You be typing paragraphs in the text chat over here.
Yeah, I would like to ask Ari, what are the meteors I'm looking at in the night? What are they on Flat Earth model?
We're about to get out of here for today. It is roughly that time. I gotta finish a little task I got in my place. I got a super chat earlier. I got a $5 super chat. That's good. At least we got a little bit of $5 super chat. Nobody gave me anything on PayPal. I need it big time. So if anybody is listening and wanna chime in, the Jose needs some money case, hook me up with anything that anybody can. I don't have to be live, but you will be giving a proper shout out in the next time that we are live, hopefully tomorrow. We're gonna do a round of final thoughts and get out of here. It was a fun show. Chaik, late in the past month or so, the past few months, almost every time that you were in the show, you said like, yeah, it was an alright show, a little boring, you know, there's no flat earthers. But in the past few days, you sound a little more entertained. Did something change, or you just not too happy with the way the show is going?
When it's boring, it's boring. When it's entertaining, it's entertaining. Mainly when you have Gary's here and he can talk, or one of the Bryans. Let's get it going.
Did you get entertained by Flip Flop sometimes?
Sure. I play along too.
Yeah. Would you like to, next time that Flip Flop is here, insult him as hard as you can?
Why insult?
Yeah, like call him dumb and uneducated and all the kind of shit.
Maybe I'll rephrase that a bit.
Yeah, in whatever wording. I need to get a good. I need to be shook enough, you know, and be insulted in my face. I haven't gotten that in a little while, and I need it. I kind of need that. Being told, like I want to be told.
You remind me this guy in Dirty Harry that needed to have his face smashed.
Well, not that far, man.
No, but well, I thought you can pay people to insult you, but you need the money, right?
I need the money, yeah. Unless you guys want to pay me and insult me with your payment. You can pay me and insult me along the way, and I will definitely honor that insult, and I will read it like you mean it, and I want to take it like a man. Oh, man. Thank you, Shaik, for coming. Appreciate it. Gary, final thoughts, man. We're out of here. Now you can unmute to final thoughts.
Yeah, a ruler will create a curved line on a ball, the shadow of a ruler. So you can use a straight edge. Doesn't have to be a curved earth. And besides, the Selinelli and eclipses prove that it's not the Earth creating a shadow anyhow, so we know it's all bullshit.
All right, thank you very much. I would like, after Larry, Lubo in China had a question for you. I'm going to give him the final thoughts to ask his question, and you can answer it if you want, and then we'll finish the final thought. Larry, final thoughts. All right, let's go with Lubo. Lubo, final thoughts. If you want to just make a comment as for finalizing, or you want to ask the question, it's not going to be any follow-up. If you want to just ask the question, and when Gary answered it, that's it. Yeah, we'll move on.
Yeah, just question. What are the meteors? I see on the sky.
What about them?
Yeah. What are they on a flat Earth model? What do you think are meteors?
I don't know. There are things flying around. Sky is big. Who knows?
Okay. Oh, we know.
All right.
No, you don't. You have your guesses whether you think it is, but you don't really know.
No, we have proof. They fall on the ground. You can collect them.
But you still don't know what they actually were, so or where they came from. So
We know. We can
nice
calculate
try,
their
nice-
orbit.
Nice try.
We can calculate their orbits.
I don't
We know
care. You
where
still
they
don't know
came
what they
from.
are. You still don't know what they are. You don't know where they came from.
We collect them from the ground. They're rocks.
I'm sorry, you haven't. You're not tracing them from wherever they came from.
I've got one.
Where did the
at
sun
home
come
that I
from?
collected.
Where did the sun come from? You can't even trace that out. You just know it makes a certain path every year, over and over and over again. That's all you know.
What? What was the question?
Just like the sun, it makes an orbit. You don't know where it originally came from or where it's going eventually. You just have your guesses. Of course, I know, but you don't know. All you can do is trace an orbit. So what? That doesn't tell you its original where it originated from. Doesn't tell you anything.
What, the sun or the asteroid?
The sun or an
Or the
asteroid,
meteor.
either one.
Actually, we
Stars
know
move.
where they come
You don't know where they came from. You just imagine
know that-
things.
Each of the meteors showers we have, we know. I mean, most of them we know where they come from. For example, there is.
We know it
meteor
comes from
shower
a certain part of the
based
sky at
on
a certain time of the year. We can time those, but we don't know where they originally came from. You didn't see where they started out from.
Yes,
You
we
don't
do.
know.
Some of them we do.
We know.
No,
We
you just know a
yeah.
part of the sky that they seem to come out at a certain time of the year. That's all you know. You
Can
don't
I
know where
give
they
quickly-
actually came from.
Can I give
So you have a
quickly-
pattern. Cool.
Hold on, Gary, quickly. Let me give M2M and Tinkerfield quick opportunity for final thoughts, and then you guys can carry on. I'll let it run in the background. I mean, I'll let it run, but I want M2M final thoughts, just to be fair. Tinkerfield final thoughts.
I'm good, thank you.
Thank you very much. What was the last point that you say, Lubo? You are agreeing with Gary. I think 100%, Lubo.
You 100% disagree with him, because we know, for example, there are few meteor showers caused by Halley's Comet. There is other comet. Most of the meteor showers, they come from the comets that have well-known orbits, and we know when Earth is going to cross through them. For example, Leonids, that's every 33 years, there is one big one, because we pass directly through the tail of the debris of that comet.
Gary, you cannot deny that information, Gary. You cannot deny information.
Yeah.
No, it's just patterns. We know patterns, but you still can't tell where all those things came from. You just know a pattern that it'll come out at certain points of the sky at certain times. It's a pattern. You still don't know where they originated from. It's just a good guess. That's all you can do. Or it's not even a good guess. It's just a guess.
Well, where did they originate from? You said
I don't know.
Gary.
God
You
created
said
them
you
all.
know.
Ask
You
God.
said
I don't
you
know.
know.
Ask God. He created them. He
it's
set everything in
God.
motion.
Well,
everything is
introduce
for
me to God,
signs
I'll
and
ask him.
seasons and days and years, and then
Introduce
we
me
go
to
from
God,
there.
I'll ask him, Gary.
Okay. Hopefully, we're going in the
Gary,
right direction at that time.
If you're in so good relationship, if you're in
Hopefully,
so
by
good
that time, you'll
relationship
know the
with
difference
God,
between up and down.
if you're in so good relationship with God, why don't you ask him? You don't know. We know. You ask him. Ask him
Well,
what
he
will
knows, but he
say.
hasn't told me. He hasn't decided that it's for us to know everything. So people make their best guesses. Guys like you make your best guess based on a godless
isn't
existence.
that convenient?
Yeah, you make your best guesses on a godless existence. Most of you guys.
I'm sorry, I don't believe in that.
Anything that
no
doesn't have
God.
God in it, is a good idea to you.
Yeah, I don't believe in God.
Yeah, that's what I said. You'll believe everything that's in a godless existence.
I'll
but you
believe
won't believe
anything
if
that
it
can
regards
be-
God. That's how you guys are. So
I'll
you have to
believe
create an
anything.
existence that denies Him, which is
I'll
why you
believe-
guys deny the creation. You deny
I'll
that He
believe
created
anything.
humans instead of evolution. You deny that He created things instead of a Big Bang. You guys deny God in every instance.
I'll believe
deny anything I don't
that you
believe.
have evidence for, and I can understand it.
I cannot deny something.
What you
that-
call evidence
that-
isn't always
that-
actually evidence. It's just an
is
idea.
evidence. Not the word in the
A
book.
lot of things you call
something I
evidence
can
isn't
see.
evidence.
Something I can see.
Just like horizons. You guys think it could only
Horizons
happen
I
on a
can
curve,
see.
but foreshortening does the very same thing.
Well, that's for you to prove yet.
Elevation
No,
angles
that's
work
what I
perfectly on a flat circle Earth.
that's
Elevation
for
angles
you
are
to
perspective
prove.
angles within the observer's field of
Okay,
view.
Go ahead.
You
prove
have
it.
to account for that.
Prove
All the
horizon on
measurements, when you
flat
take angle
surface.
measurements with sextants, are related to your visible horizon, which is nearby, not 90-degree angles that are something that's far in the distance. That's why you get a different measurement, because you literally, as you move away, you take your field of view with you and your horizon at eye level.
What kind of bullshit it is? You show me horizon on flat surface. Go ahead.
Gary ran away.
Ladies and gentlemen, this has
Oh,
been
he's
an
back.
excellent
He's
show.
back.
This has been an excellent episode
Hang
of
up.
your Daily Boom. Thank you very much, everybody. This has been Jose JG, and I'm out. Boom. Give me money on PayPal.